where you want to be. Onset, let's talk about one more team.
Alright.
I'll pass it over to you to close us
I
out.
don't know if this will be any better, but we'll
find
find out.
Magic today is going to be CTE, who I'm focusing on, but you could say the same about LG. You could say the same about Team Orchid, and I think out of all of those teams that we're kind of highlighting here, LG would certainly be the surprise to many people to find in this situation. But CTE, the worry for them was the slow start to the season, which has left them with so much to do here.
I don't know if it'll be better. It seems floating a little bit right now, so.
One little bit of hope for them, though.
Is it on 1,000 though? I don't think it is.
Which have been their best. The last two game days that they had, the last two match days that they had, they put 15 and 16 points on
Loaded
the board
currently, so
respectively, which in
should be right.
comparison to what they had done previously,
Hoping.
was night and day. So they've shown that there is a little bit of hope for them, and in the same way that they probably watched a little bit of a mirror earlier and were thinking, hey, we've kind of seen that anyone can do anything in these kind of situations, and these lobbies where the pressure is on those match point teams, they've got to take that same kind of, I think, ideology into today and think that, hey, if we get out to a good start,
Yeah,
here, we put a
the
high
footage
kill
is a
point
little
game on
bit,
the board for early,
but
then maybe
you
just
see where
we can be the Cinderella story
the
of
commentator's
today.
face cam is. The footage isn't that
Certainly
bad,
do
right?
have
So
a
I'm
lot to do
back.
today. They have to essentially win the whole thing as we take a look at their results. And
As you know, I always have internet problems whenever I try to start up a live stream.
We'll focus on 7th and 8th. 5th and 4th, shown there's life. And
No,
I think
I
if you
think
can show
connect
that
to-
there's
I think I
life,
connected to the
you
wrong
give
one.
yourself a chance. So CTE, keep your eyes on them.
I think I'm
It would
connected
have
to
to
the
be
right
something
one now.
special, but these are
I'm
the
not
results
too
from match
sure.
day 9, by the way. 1st, 16th, 13th, 18th, 1st, and 8th. So they've shown they can win
The
games
yellow,
as well
the
here, Rainbow.
white
And
loading
if you can win
staying in
games,
front of the red.
you can win regional finals.
I don't know if it'll stay
That's exactly
completely in front,
what
but we'll
it
find out.
means to be in a situation like this. You found a way
Oh.
to be successful
NA.
and separate yourself
EMEA
in
was
the top 20.
ridiculous. It was
But
such
if
a
you
good
can also
game.
have that special something
Quality
extra
scrim
and
set.
do what maybe we saw FaZe do in that last couple of games to push it in, but do it a little earlier. Keep that momentum and the confidence in a lobby where, granted, you know, you're going up against people who have won millions of dollars here and lifted tons of trophies. You know, CTE has to have that from the very beginning if they're going to have a chance. And by the way, that's a great story to watch. All these stories, really good to watch, really entertaining. And you might have connected to one that we talked about that, and there might be one that we didn't talk about that you want to follow along with. That's why we want to let you know about Face It Watch. If you want to watch the ALGS your own way, where, hey, you love our broadcast, but you want to map.
That
feed.
app
You
is
also wanna
horrible.
Maybe watch CTE.
Doesn't
or maybe you're
work.
like, listen, you guys didn't talk about Falcons because we all know Falcons. They won the Open. They're the guys that everyone is kind of trying to make sure doesn't do what they're supposed to do. I want to follow along with them. You can do it on Face It Watch, whether it's on mobile, on your triple monitor setup, on your sextuple monitor setup. I mean, yeah, it could be that crazy. I've seen some streamers.
what now?
I know you guys get, yeah, that's what it is. Watch it, control it, faceit.com/watch. All right, guys, it's been so fun getting ready to go into this. North America, you've got a lot to prove. We'll see how it goes here, especially after EMEA. And chat, what do you
Yeah,
guys
there's
think?
no
We're gonna
chance
have
these
some
games
fun
will be
guests
better
at
than EMEA.
halftime and some fun opportunities to listen to your comments and interact with them on the broadcast. If you want to be a part of it, you may not, but if you do, make sure to connect with us at Play Apex Esports on X, or type in the chat on twitch.tv/playapex or youtube.com/playapex esports. Also, if you're interested in predictions, we want to hear who you think is going to be the qualified teams. We already have 6 teams who are guaranteed to be going already. You've seen them highlighted. Here's a little bit of a sneak preview of who we think are going to end up making it overall. Some of us went with, hey, what we've seen so far, this is what we expect. Some of us went, hey, I think there's going to be a little bit of a spicy show up today that's going to change the way this lobby feels and kind of knock off the order of who should be going to EWC. Either way, it's going to be a great day of Apex Legends, and you got to earn it if you're going to get there. Of course, let's kick things off. The players are ready to start earning it right now as game 1 is close to getting underway. So with that, let's send it over to Onset and Gaskin.
Let's get this thing going then. The Americas seems like it's ready to go. EMEA certainly was an incredible show earlier on. I think it took everybody by surprise just how intense those final games really were.
Games went for
ages. The final game wasn't the final game. We just kept going and going and going. Dan, Americas has got a lot to live up to here. Do you think he can do it?
We're starting right now.
We will go to 18.
Usually they bring up the maps we're starting right now.
Might see a shorter day just because of how
I think so too.
Some of these teams are in the match point format and how successful they've been in the past. But this is the lay of the land. It's the same as EMEA if you're watching EMEA.
Top 5.
This is the map layout. So we start at Storm Point, go to Broken Moon,
I'm gonna go.
District in the middle, and then we go back with a little snake order. But this is the POI draft. Falcons.
I'm gonna go.
Prioritizing Stormpoint, and that is a key factor here because yes, it's
I'm gonna go.
but it is also match 6.
Okay, he's my top
With it being
5.
match
It's going
6,
to
there is a
be
high likelihood that Falcons could be on match
5th
point by
place.
that
I'm
time,
gonna
and we know
go.
that Stormpoint has been historically quite good for this roster.
Okay, 1st place I'm gonna go SR, Shopify Rebellion. 2nd place I'm gonna go Twisted Minds. 3rd I'm gonna go Falcons. 4th 100 Thieves. 5th NRG. That's my top 5. I can't remember what I said. I think I said 1st SR. 2nd Twisted Minds, which is a shop call by the way. Maybe I shouldn't. I'm gonna go 1st SR, 2nd Falcons. 3rd it's going to be 100 Thieves, 4th is going to be NRG, and 5th is going to be Twisted Minds. That's my top 5.
Yeah, we'll have to see really who comes
That is my top 5.
So many spots available for mid-season playoffs.
My top 5 in the last one was actually pretty decent up until the last 4 games when all the underdogs just started winning. I still guess the winner, but it's pretty easy.
Yeah, they certainly do indeed.
Alliance,
they're
always going to win.
Oh,
actually, to be fair, Go Next wins.
That's the great thing.
Technically, Go Next won. Go Next won the set, but Alliance won. I only do sets, so technically I was wrong. Technically, Go Next won.
Put under that microscope in a way that not many other
100 Thieves. Trying to see if there's a team I've got. You're a T-Law, they're alright. VP's pretty good. NIP's pretty good.
Just to the north of it.
Sentinel's pretty good, but yeah, I just think SR today. Shopify take it.
As well as all gamers, of course.
Yeah, Shopify Falcons, 100 Thieves, NRG 4th, Twisted Minds 5th. That's my top 5.
If they are also playing a ring console character, which they have
Put in
few,
chat.
so as long as they
I just knocked over
they will be
bloody
okay.
can
Now,
on the
in terms
ground.
of teams that have
Luckily,
been
it's
performing
empty.
well on Stormpoint throughout the season in Americas, Shopify Rebellion, actually the #1
view channel.
Stormpoint team here with 114 points across the board, averaging about 6 kills per map, which, you know, across a season is pretty impressive. Yeah. Aside from that, NIP, NRG, and Falcons follow behind them. I mean, you can name half these guys, and they are just powerhouses across the board. I think that's what's so exciting about this region.
Yeah, I think it's a real chance for everybody in the region as well to put a little bit of a marker down ahead of EWC, ahead of the mid-season playoffs, because understandably,
100.
everyone's looking at Falcons to win. They always are the barometer, the bar, whatever you want to call it, for how well everyone else is playing. And if you can knock them off their perch, at this point, no pun intended, by the way,
5th,
then it really does make them second-guess themselves ahead of EWC. It makes everybody feel a little bit more confident who can overcome Falcons. And if they can't, then Falcons will go in with all sorts of confidence.
I thought they were being dropped on then. I panicked for a second, but it was just Max joining the rest of the team.
Silence said a million words.
I mean, how many times in ranked when you just hear that noise above you and you're like, well, we're in for a ride here, folks. But yeah, I agree with you. I mean, Falcons.
These are my
even if Falcons
predictions.
didn't win this, I think they would come in with confidence because that's
1st
in
Shopify,
confidence of that
2nd
kind of
Falcons,
team,
3rd 100 Thieves, 4th
on the
NRG,
flip side,
5th
if
Twisted
someone can
Minds.
take
See how
down
close I get.
Falcons here, then that would also say a lot to this region and kind of how competitive it's going to
I
be.
was like,
mid-season
take
playoffs.
down
We know
Falcons.
going to
It's
be
like,
anyway,
bro,
but we
Falcons have
kind of
won
want
1
a precursor
land.
to that to
Last
see what
5.
happens when it is just region specific, because everything changes once you get on the international stage.
Yeah,
It's
they're
also
the
something
best
I wanted to
lineup.
talk
They're the
about
best
earlier
roster.
in
They're the
EMEA
roster
as
that's
well,
won the
because
most lands,
when
that's
you
for
look
sure.
back at
But
APAC
I think 100
South, I
Thieves is a
Ash
better
didn't
team
get
than
banned until,
Falcons.
like, match 8, or didn't get banned
Which is
at all.
very
Because
rough
if
to
you
say,
go
to be honest.
international
Guild's gone
series,
down
Ash
already.
will be
Fuck's
gone
sakes,
in the
NRG.
first 3. So it really does change things. As elsewhere, you can see Zach Mays has just got a knock on to Guild.
VP might be their day, you know.
The first player to fall in the lobby hasn't been finished off quite as yet. Sentinel's up on the top of the waterfall area in the respawn.
Fuck's sakes, Guild.
Looking to put a bit of damage onto VP, who are looking to rotate through that tunnel. And from the looks of things, it looks like they're going to try and shatter them here. Or have they got them trapped in this rock formation, the little cave pathway towards it? It looks like VP did make it through.
Didn't get finished though, so they would have got the reset.
Where's
Where's the first zone going? I didn't even see.
A little bit of a exchange of fire, but
Too busy.
Sentinels will be able to continue pretty much uncontested through to the checkpoint.
I'm gonna
side.
pop an engine drink. Probably about game 2. Pop an engine. It's Timmy Guild
There's a lot of respect
Sykes.
being shown in match 1. I think
boy
that's to be
Tim Tim.
expected in this region. It's a very well-practiced region, and that is no disrespect to EMEA. I know that EMEA scrims plenty as well, but we know full well
Shot
that North
Guild.
America has a little bit of an extra oomph when it comes to the kind of scrim dedication. So they've all done this. They know what
the
EMEA
was
kind of being like,
so good. When, was it 12 games or was it 11 games?
Areas and not
it's crazy.
Unnecessarily get aggressive. And in scrims, it plays completely differently as well, because there's nothing on the line. But now, with regional finals on the line and a spot at the mid-season playoffs, suddenly that risk you might have taken in scrims is not necessarily going to be taken in this one, as LG will be happy to sit here for now. This is a really good position, because, as you say, it could pull out to the water. And if it does, they can just hold this down and not only be in a good spot for the end game, but also could pick up some KP from here as well.
And I've got the Newcastle and the Catalyst in the composition as well, so I've got a lot of defensive capability should they get pushed and should they need to find somewhere to play a little bit later on. One of the Thieves, interestingly though, playing up on the top of North Pad at the moment.
Jeez, I'm so tired.
Maybe they think this one's going to pull in a little bit
10
later.
o'clock.
Going to play for that.
I've been up since 3 a.m. bro. No, 2 a.m. actually.
Up on zone close. Liquid Alienware though.
And EMA started at 3 a.m. and went to bloody 8:40.
Jaguarez tries to hit a few.
I pray this isn't as long.
As it's Godrock versus Godrock.
I think
know how Weak does it, bro.
Only team not running Alter as well. I think we have 19 Alters in the lobby.
The Alter's getting banned.
Correctly, my stats port was being a bit weird, but yeah, 19 Alters. I mean, we know who's getting banned next game, that's for sure. But it also shows how important. Good, you win. It also shows how important people feel Alter is here on Storm Point. Just the reset capability and the fact that you can get a little bit aggressive, but have that.
Maybe need to pop one now.
Now, of course, with the minor changes of being able to portal through when the other team opens that portal for you, it means that it is a little bit quicker. You do have to reset a lot faster and be prepared for someone to follow you as well.
8 spots is so much more interesting.
Well, Liquid have got that next zone.
Like EMEA was definitely way better to watch. So glad I watched it. I don't know about how NA will go.
Sentinels are playing in the Spider Cave as well, so Liquid Alienware might be waiting for a little bit of a fight to break out where they could.
Going 15 or 6, was it 16 teams go through from NA? That's ridiculous. It should be a bit more split, I think, especially for EMEA.
Down beast at the moment.
There's some teams at EMEA.
The only real engagement that we're going to see in the next few moments looks like Falcons and Flat, who are kind of having a little poke at each other over at Cascade Falls.
Yeah, everyone else is.
But 16 teams, that's a lot.
Situated or just kind of not near each other in the moment, and the winner of that fight, if it happens, could just travel up north and then try and enter through checkpoint. Might get held out. If not, they'll go through the north side. But again, 100 Thieves are going to be there as well. And either way, you're going to have to fight your way into this zone now as the latest rotator.
Yeah, looks like Falcons, if I'm not mistaken, have a trident that they're playing with at the moment. So they're going to be able to zip away from where they are needed. Yes, indeed, there is that trident. Flat are trying to chase them, but
get them Flat.
As their little leggies will go,
I love Howl,
Trident's always going to beat them in that race. Even Pop Ballistic Ult to try and catch
I was happy
up,
Howl won.
Still,
I mean Falcons, but
quite developed.
I was happy Falcons and Howl won.
The pure power of the trident.
You know what could have changed that?
One ALGS Open. I was just upset that I went 5 games.
Rotation. They also have a trident. Let's jump into a listen-in with Shopify Rebellion and see what their thoughts are of this zone.
Boys, I predicted to win.
Can you look behind, Sunny?
Yeah, I can.
Running!
Oh no.
Nice, come on, can I have your cross?
I'm dead.
Oh, come.
Fuck, Fury just ratted.
Can you get the car? Boost down.
Run a car.
They're chasing, hard chasing. They don't know where you are, they do not know where you are. Go to Bing, just go to Bing.
You get out.
Go all the way to Sino,
Yeah, go Sino.
Jesus Christ. These got ratted on heavily.
You have TP, Quinn? Do you have TP?
No, I don't.
Okay, I need to die.
That's fine. Wait, reset. Just go to Sino.
I can get it down if you live.
I'm down now.
No, just go Sino. It's fine. We reset here, doesn't matter. Shit, that's my bad. I mean, I didn't expect them to be.
That's crazy.
Well, Shopify Rebellion, we heard it from the listening. The push did not succeed, and Koiful has to go all the way into Sonoya Cave here.
Was it a push? They got ratted on.
To get those banners and to get Shopify.
They were just rotating.
It's going to be a tough rotate for Shopify. I mean, they drop all the way over at the exact opposite side of the map, so it's a tough rotate for them full stop. It's not too surprising that they're going to have to maybe take a few bumps along the way.
Yeah, a few little hurdles, but I think they'll be alright and they should be able to get over it. But we are going to see quite an exciting endgame already as everything's transitioning and moving over towards Down Beast, as are all the teams, as Falcons and Wolsey scouting out the area right now, and also might be able to hit a little cheeky survey beacon on his way.
Neither of us are ever getting hired for
yeah, I think yours was better, honestly, yeah.
You think?
Mine was bad. After I heard actually how it sounded, it was bad. Yeah.
100 Thieves, Falcons, and NRG are all in the same area. Pretty close.
At least, so they have some sort of access to where this zone is going to be going, but they have a lot of teams in front of them. Flat also joining the trenches.
Madness, Yanya.
And then before they even get to zone, they've got to go through LG,
MG dies in the ring.
NRG.
Yanya, the ex-NRG boy.
When that zone
Twisted Mind, so I had second and I dropped it.
Now, Falcons safe. But we are going to see some action surely on that side of the zone as they try and move
balling out.
Maybe a little bit earlier than we thought.
Yeah, here they come.
100 Thieves and Falcons fighting. 100 Falcons dying.
I've been able to, or at least wouldn't have before, but Falcons have lost how. Maybe they're going to have a chance to.
Walty just missing shots.
Nexus is available there for them, but I think they reconsidered. They felt like they could reset.
Look at this damage coming in from Walty, by the way. He is last alive though. Zero
Walty should teleport Walty.
The worry is, where is that port? Where is that Void Nexus? Because there's Flat in the area. There's multiple teams in the area who might just be waiting on the other side of this. Flat now trying to push in.
Wow, Falcons are dying. Falcons are dead.
Falcons will finally be eliminated as QZ will get the final kill onto Walty. But what happened to 100 Thieves here? Have they managed to escape?
Well, it's not the dream start for Falcons. And maybe that just gives an edge to the rest of the lobby to try and get ahead of them before they start to find their pace. As, well, Phony came up, but he quickly got sent back down.
100 Thieves dying, dude. Flat.
So 100 Thieves tried to get aggressive. Flat, put them on their back.
So Shopify, 100 Thieves and Falcons getting peppered. They were literally my 1, 2, and 3.
That's Verholst who should be. Ooh, they're going to take the Void Nexus, or is it a little bit of a scary thing to do?
Phony gets nano.
Phony back up. Verholst is
Yes,
still
Phony
here,
got
by the way.
reset.
Never
Evans a
take
go.
the Void Nexus. Ever. I don't care who you are.
That's what I was saying though. It's shorter now. The time in which it takes for that to pop up, so you can be more aggressive on it. But even so, when there's a Newcastle involved, probably a bad idea to take it and try and be aggressive on someone.
The amount of times I've done that, and I'm like, I should have done that.
Yeah.
You know, when I say the amount of times I've done it, yeah,
you feel it mid-portal, and you're like, oh, I wish I hadn't taken it.
That's an rally. It's a sniper though, so it could be distance away.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, hey guys.
Hey guys, can I go back through? Oh wait, no I can't.
Sorry, I was not invited.
LG looking for a rotate.
To try and get in towards down beast.
SR finally moving in.
Thanks to the recovery work of Koifel and some skillful driving, have managed to get back in the game, and more importantly, managed to get a place to play in zone as well on this cannon.
I'm so tired.
Extra cover as well, which will be indestructible and almost indestructible. It's going to be that Newcastle wall as well.
Pop it energy
Take
drinks
a lot
in.
of damage to take that one down.
I know it's going to go long,
so excited for this
like hours, so when people get match point, I'll start to boost up a bit.
This is going to be hectic, it's going to be
Phony
enjoyable,
killed
but now we're also
Mikoiza.
getting mid-game fights as well. NIP
Flat down.
have been able to take a real fight here against Sen. Flat have also been eliminated.
Yeah, Flat learning that you don't
Sentinels
get
and
through
Flat out.
IP
and 100 Thieves getting the kills. Duplex knocks Phony.
TSM have started to do a little bit of damage on the 100T, but for NIP, the problem for them is that
MT kills with love and T-Law, Hawaii's gets Furia. Furia's dropping. Phony been finished.
Going to be the last ones alive here as one player has already been taken down. McLovin is on his back, not finished off yet.
There's a good sniper. Good with the bow check.
Slow down Zainu, but not for long.
My boy Hembino getting a knock. Vicente.
Nice tracker dart though. Karev is going to be able to get
SR gonna wipe this. Oh, that's a good peek from Karev.
Karev will answer back.
Zainu down
It's
now.
not done here.
Oh, that's a clutch. LG with a third party. SR dead. NIP dead. Wow.
So will Ninjas in pajamas. LG, the third party timing is perfect from them. It felt like Shopify.
Everyone's getting pumped in my top 5 besides NRG so far. I'm an NRG fanboy, so I'm happy about that.
What was around them, and with the amount of teams already in the zone, so they just tried to get that KP as they maybe chalked this game up as being done. Now, teams who haven't chalked this game up are those who are at the back of Down Beast, because that's where the zone is going. All gamers, VP, they're already
Ex-skilled
right
boy
in the very
Yonya.
back and in 2 of the best positions right now. And then you've got ROC and CTE who are kind of on and under
getting
the beast,
respawned.
and then everyone else is on the other side.
Team Liquid Alienware, who need a very, very good day today if they want to qualify. They are outside of the qualification spots. Excuse me, they're inside of the qualification spots, but one of those teams that, with a really bad day, could see themselves overtaken.
They'll be fine. Purely because of the 16 spots. Guild gets knocked again. R99, so it's close range.
At the back with them and VP. All of them playing this back.
On Guild.
Orchid just in the cannon.
I am biased towards NRG, and I don't care. Go Timmy. Oh boy.
Oh, I like this
That's a good Void Nexus spot.
From Team Orchid. Are they going to be able to actually get away with it though? Yes, the answer. This is another reason why Alter is fantastic. You can use it as an entry point.
Yeah, but Newcastle covers it.
The
They're low though.
Tell you what, they should be able to reset here.
Fury dead.
Should be okay.
T-Law kills Evan. Danya kills Evan, sorry.
100 Thieves under pressure as well as NRG try and force their way into zone. First
no, Sark's dead.
Well,
no.
For NRG, the second player who's
Timmy
getting
left.
Fuck,
They're dead. That's a bad spot where they are.
All gamers who were above Orchid trying to flush them out. And I think they want to swing on this.
NRG dead. Fuck.
And they want to take this position
Orchid
off
dead.
Of them. Now, all gamers were having the back of Down Beast for quite some time, and they do bully Team Orchid, who get eliminated. NRG also have fallen. 12 squads now remain. As all gamers say, well, we'll go
LG
back up and
dying.
make sure no
Who's
going
gonna
to
win this game? 100 Thieves at the last real big tighten up there. NA has a lot of good teams though. Yeah, that's why EMEA shocked me the way it went. Twisted Mind's still up, sorry. Alban, yeah, they're getting kills. Bro, relax, enemy. Enemies are so good. He frags. He's got a gold Devo, bro. He's gonna absolutely bully.
Any more of the miracle day?
Alb's been killing it though. Alb's been really good.
Consistency. 11 squads remaining now. Under Thieves still alive, by the way. One player, solo player.
Oh, it's 100 Thieves are down to 1.
Little trenches just where this zone is going to be pulling.
Panic finished by Newzel.
All these teams here are going to fall. And they might be able to scrape out a few extra.
TSM are in a rough spot there.
Speaking of trenches, TSM are in the metaphorical trenches at the moment. They are going through it down there.
Danya's got a good angle on Panic.
Like 3 different teams and Liquidator.
Yeah, Ash thing, there you go.
Oh, I mean, they are poking, they're prodding, but they just can't quite get the kills.
Yeah, that's rough. I knew TSM in a bad spot there.
TSM do get eliminated, and it was Liquid who have the top of Down Beast, which can often reward you with a lot of KP, but they will still have to transition to the backside here, so it's not job done for them. They're not guaranteed to win this game like sometimes.
So mine's an okay spot here, but it's a bit open.
Well, Abrelot's found himself a peacekeeper. Also, he's got a turbo charge.
They need to do a lot of damage to not get jumped on. 100 Thieves dead, Phony down.
So Phony wasn't able to scrape out
Villainous down.
Placement points, but Villainous have been eliminated alongside them as we now see Liquid Alienware making
Fun used to be on NRG, I think.
Of this platform.
Oh, T-Law missing shots and they're dead. They missed so many shots.
It's a great hold, and that is the power of Watson in those situations.
And AG's launching on him.
Now all gamers say, remember the backside is ours.
Dropped in Skittle. And Zap though, yeah, they're pretty good.
And again, AG will hold one of the
They're off to a good start.
They continue to fence off these
Fusion
areas
dead.
as well, playing fantastically at the moment as Fusion go down, as ROC and Twisted Minds are fighting as well.
ROC's been fine. Twisted Mind's dead. We killed Twisted Minds. That though. All gamers are frying. They're looking good for game 1.
Drop goes in through the void passage, but escapes, having realized it was too risky a situation.
They got the res though.
To commit to and find themselves down to
VP's
2. So
up.
showing a little bit of experience there.
So ROC trying to reset just in that small building. AG trying to deny it from them as well. All the meanwhile,
VP could have good angles on all gamers right now, but they're too busy focusing the team under them.
Just trying to utilize everything they can as all gamers still trying to pressure this
ROC dead.
Eventually
How is Skittle and Zapdo still alive?
Pushing up. So they
Got knocked. VP's finally rotating, but they're a bit late.
Center zone. They do have still that Void Nexus down, AG, so they can return to that original spot that they've been playing. So we see essentially more space.
All gamers VP and CTE.
On the side of all gamers.
Didn't even consider them.
Building, as well as
I did say VP's pretty good. I did see Skittles, and I went, he's pretty decent too. But CTE I didn't even consider.
And he's going to have to take the time to heal.
3 different compositions, by the way.
Only game 1 though.
You've got Fuse on the side of VP, where the Motherload
Last
could
one
really
fucking
make a
11
difference
games.
here. So just try and absolutely trap a team, which might
Isn't it weird that all
games
games already almost have more points than one of the teams that have played 11 games?
He knows this team is down on the low ground. Knuckle Clusters will go in to try and flush them out and do a little bit of extra damage, but Doesn't get the ticks that he's requiring here, but they are going to have to move from this low ground here, CTE.
I love that he felt like the mother load wasn't needed then, but now it finally comes out.
He was just trying to
Skittles holding back.
Game, but they might realize that this is a second place opportunity for them. First place might be a bit too big of an ask with the distance they have to go.
All gamers win this. Oh, but they're still up.
And they do a pretty good job of staying healthy.
Yeah, they do have good HP. This is 3v3.
Zap with that PK though.
Zap has 8 kills.
And that is the difference maker. Big shot coming in from Skill Cakes with the Sentinel as well. Slayer goes down. It's a 1v2.
Wow, all gamers just dominated that.
All gamers being its champions here in game number 1.
Fair enough.
All day at the back of Down Beast, and it wasn't just given to them. They were
just
so
bullied that
hard for it.
game.
As soon as anyone came within a certain radius of their area, they said, no, you are not allowed in here.
Skittle
They denied it
dropped
instantly. They
and
got
Zap
aggressive when
just
they needed
dominated.
to. And they also stopped teams resetting.
Skittle left
they were
TSM.
brave enough. They made sure they utilized the altar portal to be going
Crazy
back
was
if
never
they
on
needed
TSM,
to,
he just played
and
with
they
them
stopped teams from resetting. They stopped teams
for
from getting too close.
a
And
LAN,
they
and they
always
just
held
went,
the back
"Bye."
of Down Beast.
Yeah, I love the way that they played that game in general. They had, yes, great access to the zone. They had priority position, but again, I always say it's
27.
more space that you can
Damn,
command
your
around
Falcons
it,
and
and the
us.
KP that you can pick up when you overextend.
NRG
using
got 1
that
kill.
Void Nexus to
That's
return,
rough.
things
No, he got
get a
1
little bit
placement
dicey.
point.
All gamers, an absolute masterclass in how to play Apex Legends and play that particular zone. 15 KP means 27 points for them.
That is an absolute massive game to start us off here in North America, in the Americas, excuse me. I apologize, South America. First, second, and third, you've got All Gamers, Virtus Pro, and CTE. Remember, we mentioned ZTE at the start of this one. Could they do it today and make their way to the mid-season playoffs? But you spoke about Zap with that Peacekeeper mark, and I'll tell you what, he was chunking. We've already seen the Peacekeeper and Amir hit 150 damage from about 7 million yards, but he was getting up close and personal with it this time.
Yeah, you were certainly paraphrasing. It was but 10 kills overall, 5 assists alongside it as well, 11 knocks, and a huge amount of kills go alongside. I mean, you can't ask for more from a player like Zap. That's the role that you want him to be performing for the team, and he's doing exactly that. And I think it just felt like the perfect game from AG.
Yeah, I think it was literally that. I don't see an error that they made at any point. They were constantly making sure they held prime position for them. But that's match 1 done. It is a huge game for them, but can they do it again in match 2? There's only one way to find out. We'll see you after the break.
Sony InZone, the official monitor of the Apex Legends Global Series.
Welcome everyone to the ALGS America Regional Finals. We've seen the action. I got a kidnap Gaskin while Onset takes a quick break. But already, all gamers out of their own POI landing in down Bs. They take the dub and they take it with 15 KP. Already understanding the assignment that this is match point finals.
Yeah, no kidnaps from all gamers like you, but a couple of attempted abductions. They certainly were putting Alter to full use. And as was the majority of the lobby, 95% pick rate. Only Team Liquid Alienware did not have Alter for that game. But what that does mean is Liquid Alienware don't have to change going into match 2. But of course, every other team now will not have Alter available to them. But this was the final circle, Vicky. I mean, Lou was saving that motherload for quite some time. One of our producers actually pointed out, I think they actually void passaged through it anyway, so it didn't even matter. But they also did die, but it did allow AG just to push up and then pressure Virtus Pro here. And this was an interesting swing here from VP. That from Zach Mazer was wild. I'm just going to put it out there. Dia, maybe look back at that one. I know he'll be doing some VOD review, but it just allowed all gamers to simply wrap that one up, Vicky.
Yeah, also with Skittles with like the Sentinel shot too, just to catch Zach in the middle of the slide. I think it's also very interesting to note that those last 3 remaining squads are all teams that land on the west side of Storm Point there. So they had a pretty easy rotation to get there faster than a lot of the other teams that were just stuck, like TSM on the low ground at one point too. You saw that with Team Liquid, watching them from the high ground over by down B side. It was really difficult for the teams to have taken their time to rotate into a final zone like that. Even better though for AG to take the dub with 15 KP once again. You need to hit 50 points to be considered at match points. Will we be going the distance is the question, as you highlighted, Dan. 19 picks on the Alter, so Alter will not be available going into game number 2 as we transition onto Broken Moon.
Well, and I think you know what that means. It means we're moving over to Ashe, maybe a little bit of Wraith as well. They are naturally sometimes the replacements. It used to be Ashe going first, and then Alter would come in a little bit later, but Storm Point seems to be an Alter just haven, as everyone sees how important she's going to be. But Broken Moon's where we head now, and it means no Alter rotations through the middle of the map, which is also very important to take into account here for this draft as well. NRG went for Quarantine Zone. This is where they're hoping to pick up the most amount of points. But interestingly, Vicky, Falcons are the team that's had the most points on Broken Moon throughout the season in the Americas region, averaging around 11 points per match and 6.6 kills per match on this map, which is pretty insane.
And that's their POI over by Stasis Array too. So seeing a lot of northern pools on Broken Moon could benefit them, although today, I will say, we've been seeing a lot of zones. If you've been paying attention to EMEA, we saw one at one point by Quarantine Zone. We saw one pool towards the outskirts of Production Yard. So mostly benefiting the like southwestern quadrants of Broken Moon. I'm wondering how that's going to play a hand going into the Americas region here. First time we get to see Broken Moon here for the Americas. Game number 5. It's been high octane action thus far. I think it's been very interesting to see how Matchpoint has influenced the Legend ban pick system that we have now brought into the ALGS from the very start of this Pro League season. And it's great because we also have a team already trying to navigate their way through the rest of the pack. Speaking specifically of all gamers with already 27 points, soaking up a good amount of KP after that first game alone.
High octane action, but still no octane for us. Don't think it'll happen here in Americas either. Even with the Legend bans, unless we get to like match 14 or something crazy.
I am back. Yeah, it's so cold. I had to grab a Red Bull. All games dropped 27 game 1. That's crazy. Bro, if this win 11 games just like EMEA, oh, I'll be so tired. I'll fall asleep instantly when it's done.
However, has been a little bit more all over the place, which will
Falcons, NRG, and 100 Thieves are not doing well game 1.
Really funny where
Very
we were taking
surprising.
a look at Apex Legend bans.
Oh, 100 Thieves still got 7
all the
points
way to,
though.
like, game number 7 or so.
Yeah, it didn't get
APAC
banned.
North. Yeah, was it APAC North or APAC? I think it was APAC South, actually, specifically.
Oh, it's cold.
And didn't get banned. Meanwhile,
All games 27 points. That's crazy. I didn't see that coming. RC played pretty well.
Will be that second legend that we won't see when we
T-Law
go on to
with
game
11,
number 3.
pretty
But
decent.
So far, a lot of our
second.
teams here are going to be able to
VP,
take
that's right.
advantage
First
of
Pro.
the Ash
First Pro, pretty
on
good.
Broken Moon as we take a
All
look
games,
at where that zone pool is.
their new
This
team.
is what I was highlighting before. When I was taking a look
Skittle
at scrims a
Cakes.
lot within the Americas,
That
I noticed
and
it did pull a lot towards Alpha
get the
Base.
third.
We've seen it on the outskirts of Stasis as well. So Falcons not only
100
having
Thieves, bottom
that
left.
zone advantage,
bottom
but they're already
right.
getting set on
Falcons
their move.
already
They had
in
those 2
zone.
survey beacons, having to take that
NRG,
evac tower
they're
as
moving
Fury
through
slowly make
cliffside.
their way towards their POI.
All game is already in
Falcons
zone.
did have a ring console
Sentinels
there as
in,
well. And they
BP
do
moving in.
have a Watson, so they are able
TM
to
back
get
at
that
the
ring console
core.
information as
LG's
well
out
as the Sparrow
space
information
fort
with
with
the
100
survey beacon.
thieves.
And the thing I love about Sparrow, and I think this
Bottom-
is something that I
bottom left,
maybe
that was the first
didn't
team I said.
highlight when we heard about what Sparrow could do, was doing those survey beacons from distance. It's another reason why Crypto
Like
so
I said,
successful,
Source
but
is
just
a
being
bit,
able to
I
get
swear
those
he's
lineups
inconsistent
and
in the
pin
first
those
game.
survey beacons
They
from
go pretty
distance
well.
can be incredible for your team. But
Timmy's
also,
getting
his
clapped.
ultimate
Timmy.
is basically nuts and probably will receive a nerf at some point. Let's be
I'm a Tim
completely honest.
fan,
Now,
bro.
Falcons have moved to find somewhere to call home, as have
Every time it's
Sentinels.
Falcons, like, oh, Falcons have
It's
moved.
been
Like,
very entertaining to see
bruh.
a lot of our pros master the lineup
energy
to
for
be able
all
to
of them,
get
please.
that remote tracker dart
They are the most
activated just to get
popular
that
team by far.
scan from
They've got
afar.
like,
It's been insane. Even
what,
watching
4 or
hockey as a
5
stream, being able to
ALGS
match
trophies
those
between them?
lineups have
Oh,
really come in clutch.
all 3
Hal
have just
here
won
being
one
on
more,
that Sparrow
so
himself,
it's like
as Falcons
7
trying
now.
to play the late game,
7,
looking
8.
at their composition with the Watson, with the Ash. We know the Ash very good at getting out of trouble in case the team needs to get a reset entirely. Of course, with other teams and now also running the Ash, they're
Just,
just
it
gonna
is
be
a
sitting
stack
here
trio.
predicting that the zone
Hal
is gonna
wants
continuously
to,
pull in this direction.
bro. It's just crazy.
You speak about the Sparrow lineups.
That's like the one team I don't know. The players. Drool, Jay, K, CTE. Yeah, I don't know these players.
It's
like the only team.
You have one job, and I was like,
Maybe Fusion and Villainous, but I know like one player usually. Oh, time to crack a Red Bull. It's gonna sound amazing, ready?
Mastering lineups is always really fun. That's actually
Yeah,
something
that didn't
else
sound
I
as good as the
considered.
mother.
You know, obviously, Alter not here, but Alter being able to get these great rotates always comes in clutch. A CETE being careful. Jay having to navigate away those 30-30 shots from afar before having to pop the Newcastle ult. They also have the circle scan,
Red Bull was very
so
neat.
they know where this zone is going to be
So
pulling,
tired
but
after the
with that
EMEA
quick
live
peek
stream I
off the
did
wall, it was
earlier.
kind of expended
I did
because
5
not
hours.
risking getting knocked
It
with those
was
30-30s, taking a zipline where you're literally
11
just sitting in place
games,
to get
man.
shot
Oh
on.
my god. They were last 3 or
it's
4
starting to
was
get
some of the
busy
best games I've
in
seen
this
live. It was
area
so
now.
good.
So many early movers.
FaZe Clan started
Not really
popping
surprised.
off,
As
but
soon as you get the ring console information, people are like, this is a zone
Yeah.
where if you arrive late, you are pretty screwed. So
I'm hoping this
it
goes
makes
like
sense to be
6 or
moving
7.
fast. We've
I
got
don't want any more than that, to be honest.
8 teams outside of this zone,
Pray
so
for a
already
nap.
12 that have found their way into zone 2, which is pretty impressive. And Team Orchid being one of them, but they're still moving at the moment. They're not happy
Bino.
with just
There's, like,
residing
even
within
Orchid,
the
I know
next
him,
circle.
Bino.
They want to actually get
I don't
into
know
a
Bo
more
or Luxford,
secure
but I know him,
location they
Bino.
can
I
work
know
with, and
usually
maybe
one person
make use of the Watson that they're playing
like,
as well.
bottom
The
teams.
goal is to be in that final zone positioning.
As
They have that
popular
scan
teams,
already.
like
You
I
can
said
hear the
today.
pings right at Team Orchid's feet. There are so many other teams, though, within the vicinity.
So far, my predictions
Not
for
just
round
the
1
team
was
below
not
them
good.
that could possibly
Out of
TSM,
everyone in my
but
top
also
5,
Koi,
100
over to
Thieves
their left side.
performed
You
the
could already see moves
best.
being made by Luxford
With
just for
7
that
and
information. Maybe a kidnap.
100 I think Twisted Mind's got 8.
Get
That's
ready
crazy.
to go. As they try to get the knock here, they
But
get
Drops
some
got back
damage
for-
done, but they cannot finalize
meant to
that pick
come off
here,
for the
not a
air,
knock,
so they
but it
can't
was
go
a
back
nice
for-
little jump scare for the opposing player that's on the other side of that portal.
All I'll say is it was Rambo's fault for not having any fences down. Otherwise, they probably would have got the kill.
Yeah.
So, you know, great kidnap, but his teammate just didn't do the job. Also, how awesome is it to see kidnaps again? It feels like forever since we've seen
Usually
good
when you
kidnaps. They
kidnap
were-
though, you jump off heights, so
were
they
all
can't
over
get
the
back
place
through
in the
very
day.
easily.
A nice attempt, but sadly doesn't accumulate to anything.
It's crazy too, because then you have Wraith with the old run animation there too. Good old times now.
LG's
We make our
rotating.
way back to LG. One of the teams
Moving up through.
rocking the Ash Catalyst and Sparrow. See the pings from up ahead too. Well, they do take this round of rotation here. It's nice to note that
Alter
they're
got
trying to
banned as well.
prioritize these survey
Alter's
beacons,
not
the Evil Harvester,
in
kind
the
of
game
like side
anymore.
questing here just to boost up those Evo
Got
shields.
banned round 1.
This is the most played composition as well, by the way, in the lobby. Only 4, but still, that's 20% of the lobby is playing Ash Catalyst and Sparrow. I love it. I think this is a really solid
Yes.
composition. Gives you a little bit of everything. Gives you mobility, gives you information, and gives you the
I'm
ability
curious to
kind
know
of
what character got
lock
picked
down and
most.
cross areas.
Probably
So,
Ash,
yeah, I
right?
think
The
it's
fact that
perfect
Ash didn't get banned game
format
1's
to
crazy.
when Alter's
'Cause
been
obviously
banned.
Alter's 90%. I guess
It's
it's
a little bit of
Ash.
everything as they look to their backs because Fusion
Ash,
actually coming up
Ash,
from
Ash,
right behind
Ash,
them.
Ash,
Are gonna be
Ash,
taking a
Ash,
much
Ash.
more
Yeah, it's
northern
Ash.
rotate. I wonder if they want to just hang out in Alpha Base
No way, it's a
to get
different
that ring
character.
console for sure. other teams that want to prioritize that
Energy moved in, Fusion's still moving in, Twisted Mind's in zone, T-Law still bottom left down the west,
that's to the south side, unless NIP,
Shopify NIP close on the east side,
console, they will be able to try to wrap around
100D's
there too.
moving up
But
into
it's about
zone.
taking that rotate, the pathing into that next zone.
So many
where
teams
their
on the
backs are
left side of
completely
zone.
cleared, and 100D's will be waiting for them to try to gatekeep
Ooh,
them.
Shopify, fighting NIP here.
Oh, Shopify Rebellion. Are they under siege or the ones sieging? It was hard to tell as we joined, but
LG got Koi.
Definitely damage being done on both sides. NIP
Blink,
just able to
technically.
reset here. Looks like Shopify Rebellion have taken more damage on the opposition side. And NIP looking to try and push
Yeah, I
up
can't
and
say
try and
Koi
find
because
Koiful here.
SR's called.
He's
usually Koiful. I don't know why he's shortened his name.
Distance, 100 Thieves wanting to clear their backs, maybe not even wait to gatekeep, want to get involved in the fight that was happening. Here
Oh,
between
empty
NIP and
drops.
Shopify.
I've got to knock the look in now, yeah.
100 Thieves
You don't want
are
100
watching
Thieves.
out of this
100
one
Thieves and
from the
Falcons are the
southeast side,
two
but they
teams
have
you
NIP
don't want
and
shooting
Shopify
over you.
Rebellion ahead them as well.
Especially when it's close for a third party. Listen.
Behind them.
I thought we should definitely try to kill left lane.
Yeah, we all calm different people right there.
Yeah.
I said I was going southeast from the beginning before you guys even got up to me. And you guys like just started shooting left.
The guys on the roof were low-key free.
Yeah, the guy on the right was literally free as fuck too. Alright, we just have to set up a Newcastle wall and get ready to fight the Sparrow team. I want to try to see if I can play split, okay?
Yep.
I can play middle here.
Evan, Phony, and Jen are the
That doorway's
goats.
taken, there's a cat team there. They just took Zip here,
Wall
pretty sure.
out.
I'm looking.
Let me put a wall here in the south room, I think. I could do the roof.
I don't see anything right now. So that's still fucking slow-mo.
Ooh.
Batting. They climb roof from dead. Sheen out, the spot's horrible. Careful of them taking height.
The calm, collected comms phony after getting
Very calm
hit
there.
once and losing nearly all his health, literally leaving him one shot. Dang. Well, while being calm and being able to reach
The fact that Hal's and Zero's Reject Boys teaming up is crazy. Such a funny storyline. But then Falcons won, so cancelled the underdogs winning. But they still can. And the next best team when it comes to
does give them a kind of awkward rotation into zone though.
land title holders.
Through.
Falcons
Either
is
way, it's gonna be
first
tough,
and
but
100
right
Thieves
now,
is
it's just
second.
focusing on
Like with the
Twisted Minds,
rosters. Not the actual
We just need to
esport
think
team.
about what's happening afterwards.
The players,
Anyway,
they've won the most.
Liquid
Jen goes
Anywhere,
down
they
to
are
Yonya.
amongst
When did that happen?
the thick of it here on the southern side is going to be 100 Thieves on the other side of this. And Shopify Rebellion will be joining this shortly if this isn't finished up quickly.
Evans
My
on top.
Vamos Liquid fans here that are rooting for Team Liquid Alienware.
Damn, Jen down.
Has been brought
It's
out
the anchor
to give them
dead.
their energy, but with Nizul going down
Evan
first,
hits
Koi
back though.
being able to find that
No,
from
Koi
Shopify,
gets it.
holding onto the high
From
ground by the
Shopify.
cliff side, Zainu on the other
They're being
side
third
to
party.
enable Koi, taking a different angle.
Evan's so
As
good.
Juarez stuck inside of the
Koifu's
building,
also
Koifu's
so
trying to
good.
force
So
their
is
way in.
Sanu. They've just
Sometimes
rocked
you
up
don't
to
know
third
being
party.
the
Poor
latest to the
T-Law.
party.
Dominating 100 Ds and
Shopify
get
Rebellion,
bodied by
they
Shopify.
bided their time, they waited for
Oh
the
no,
engagement
he's
to
looking the
happen,
wrong
but now
way.
he finds it. Juarez with the beam and a half.
Gets the
It-
finish as well.
it's
And he gets the
probably
shield
gonna end in his
swap.
demise Anyway, but he's going to take someone with him, and it looks like Shopify Rebellion just will have to go as a
T-Law
two
end up
now and try and
dying,
get
but-
Koi back on his feet.
It was hard too because
Evan
other teams
got
have
Yarny
now
as
made
well.
their way on their rotate to the southern side. We saw 100 Thieves in the kill feed. Team Orchid
already
now looking at
respawning.
100 Thieves while Shopify
They have crypto.
Rebellion uncontested on that southeastern side.
Must do.
Yeah,
100
this is
Thieves are
gonna
in
be
trouble now with that
action-packed
Gen.
after,
It's
I
the
think,
anchor
zone
gone.
3. Because a lot of these teams are on the edge of zone 2 at the moment.
Got a portal out of their Phony.
You see,
Gotta
100
get
Thieves
you and
still
Evan
without
out of there,
Jet Burton
surely.
As well, looking to try and find a Moby to get him back.
Yeah, there you go. There's the portal.
All they need really is a crafter, and then they could do it as well, having the Newcastle available to them. But it's going to be about just focusing on getting into the zone at the moment for 100 Thieves. I do like that, especially at this level, some teams still trust in their ability to perform as a duo and don't hard commit to trying to get their third back too often.
But when you're phoning
Obviously,
Evan,
as a
of
solo,
course you
sometimes
would.
you kind of have to, but as a duo, we've still seen
NRG taking space up top.
You know, I think it's also really hard with Sparrow
Usually gonna have to
being
evac
included
tower.
and being able to
I hope
get
they
those
have one, or
remote
they're dead.
lineups, being able to have that information from afar and
P
even
just
calling out a team that's a
teleported in.
duo could be scary. Sometimes you're just forced to have to
100
play like
Thieves
that.
are back up to
Even
a
if you get
3-man.
to look at where 100 Thieves that they were able to call
There
in
he
the
had a
lobby, by the
Moby.
way, because they had already gotten that banner.
Yeah.
But can they pull it off is the question when over to their north is Rock. They're still playing on the edge
Where's
of zone.
Falcons?
That's going to be the
Up the
hot
top.
zone while Movistar Koi make their way
They're
through
just
from
in the next
Southern
zone as
Beacon,
well.
and then
Sentinels
TSM over to their
just to
south
the right.
side. So let's see here.
LG
if they
Fury
able
are
to get that
together.
res.
All game is
Well, we
looking
looked
for
at that
another good
overhead.
game too.
Villainous were actually in
Yeah, there's
arguably the
NRG,
best
my
position
boy
at the
Timmy.
moment from
Timmy, you're
their
getting pushed by LG,
move
brother.
into the Eternal Gardens.
How are you not shooting that?
Twisted Minds on the edge. Falcons have also found themselves in a
no,
good spot on
Timmy.
the northern side with Sentinels just next to them. But LG
Nice guild note.
have been seen out. Oh my god, he said, get back there, boy. We ain't going up here.
Nice, LG's getting ganked by another team. That's huge.
Really helps you try to get out of there even better. As the
Timmy,
Cowboys
other side.
forced
They're
out,
going
'cause
other
from a
side, brother.
distance, LG are getting focused,
Shopify's
but they're
dying
looking at
again.
them. Then they have to worry about the squad that's right above them, while Koifu's the last one alive for Shopify.
Oh my god, Shopify dead again. I predicted him to win.
18
Fuck.
squads now remain. I said
Fury's
to you,
rushing
one of our
LG,
better teams on this map, but
NRG
they've been taken out in
hopefully
18th
can
place.
third
LG
party
still
that.
struggling here, kind of being focused
All
by
he's
many a
won.
team
Come on,
and
come on,
have
Fury.
energy
Nice,
above them.
Fury.
Really
Nice
hard to
madness.
reset when you're being
Nice.
peppered like this, and it looks like LG are likely to fall here.
Oh, that is so unfortunate.
Smart
Going
resin.
down right
Guild got
before the
madness.
Ash portal could come out. Although Shubi is still
Guild the
able
third
to
party.
try to get the res
Guild
with
finish
Giambi on the
madness
other
as
side.
well.
Fury are now a taste of their own medicine while they look behind them.
Fury's
It's
just going for
another
the
team.
kills. Fury
The fourth
dead.
party has now been
Fury just
invited.
saved
It's
NRG,
trying
but
to go
also
in for the
killed
third
themselves.
party.
It's just
Between
Shubi
NRG
left
and
of LG as well.
That's enough explosions off of the arrows and the grenades here. If that was
Hopefully
shot from
NRG
the
just
distance,
keeps holding
also
them out.
looking at them, LG
Surely
somehow
Guild
stay
just
alive,
drops
and
on this
NRG still
kid.
on the high ground.
How is Shubi still
Nah,
alive?
Flat's still there.
He literally went
Definitely
through
don't
about
drop.
15 grenades, it felt. I think the armor swaps definitely helped from his teammates who died right in front of him. So
They get shot by
cruelly.
someone else now, NRG.
Maybe now Shubi can escape and get them
Yeah,
back
Shubi's
up. But it's
dead.
gonna be no, never mind. Forget that
I
thought.
heard you.
Flat remembered that he was there. So
NRG
don't worry
was getting
about it,
shot
guys.
by someone else.
16
I
squads
think.
now remain.
Unless it was Flat
this
shooting.
zone is gonna start to shift.
There is no conspiracy theory on
Gotta
Shubi
have my Red Bull
surviving
here.
there. You know, Flat, they'll be able to live up to their name here, at least take care of
Game's
that.
getting
And
interesting.
now coming in from the eastern side, there are so
NRG's
many
16th,
teams
that's
waiting
crazy.
for them in that next choke where Team Orchid is holding
Flat,
it
leave him
down.
alone, bruh. Good thermites. Good
Where
thermites.
did Flat even try and go here? This is awful. They go for the death boxes at the moment, but they try and go north. You've got NRG above you. You've got Fusion.
One dude
holding
there,
the
drop on
northern
him.
tip.
Drop
NIP
on
just
that one
got a
dude.
respawn as well. If you try
Drop
and
on,
go south,
drop on
you're screwed
Quasar.
as
Drop on
well.
him. Drop, drop,
I mean, I think
drop.
you're damned if you do, damned if you don't here if you're Flat. With
They need to
any
drop.
position you try and take. There's 6 teams on this
Alright,
western
he's with
side.
the
In the
other
next
guys with
30
him now.
seconds, they'll all have to try and transition to the east.
They're being
with
shot
a
by
bit of
another team,
advantage.
actually, yeah. I can't
And
leave
I
the
think
Watson
coming in
gen.
from the north side is also just really
They rotate now.
better option, but it's still so bad because you know there's like
they
little to
still
no cover
blues.
once the teams inside the buildings by that mythic bin that we see
One
by
got
Falcons
Skittle.
actually. Inside those dome-shaped
Oh,
buildings,
ho, ho.
you just take free reign over you.
Third party
Finally
this
start the engagement.
Kimchi.
They know they need to try to take this fight, and with
Third
the
party
duo,
this
it's a
NRG.
perfect thing to do while activating
But
the
Flat
towers from Nano.
are wiping this. All games dead. Last game winners. They're gone.
NRG that they've allowed Flat to walk up on them here. and
Yeah.
bullying them from this position, ripping the north.
Well, do
away
damage,
from
do
them.
NRG can't
As
third party
Kimchi's
this
gonna
now.
be the
They're
next
going on the
target.
left
He
side.
does go down, doing a lot of damage to Kuzia, but it looks like
To be
Flat will
fair,
at least be able to
if
stabilize.
Zero
Or
just
not, because
craved him,
Falcons
if
were watching this as
NRG
well.
came this way, they
Zero
would have
with
got,
the
yeah,
Kraber.
Zero
Oh,
would have
Flat
popped him.
will fall.
It's good that they didn't. Never mind, NRG's dead to TSM. They just got 3 grenaded from panic. Luckily, NRG's already qualified, so it's not a must-win day for them. I just want them to win. 100T down. CT down. Might be a Falcons game here. That's a great Kraber shot from Vax. RSC dead. Koi dead. TSM getting a lot of points right now.
Yeah, as expected, it was just mayhem on that western
They watched their
side.
ex-Skittle Cakes win
Movistar,
game
the last
1.
team to
Might have
fall
woke
out
them
of
up.
all of the action that was on that particular direction, but TSM can now walk up. They can
Timmy
loot,
will not be
and
happy
they
right
can
now
pick
with
up
what's going on
all
in
those
NRG.
rewards of all the teams that have just delivered them all those goodies.
they were in first place overall coming in this game. Multi kills January, Fusion out.
VP, Twisted Minds, Falcons, Sentinels, and it has moved over
Falcons
to
after a
TSM
0 having a good game.
That was with them
But they're going to have to
popping
move
off. I
soon.
saw in the feed panic with
TSM
that
have a
grenade toss
great
too, just
spot,
to hold the
taking
ground
space.
while
Falcons
now
are
they're gonna
rotating
be
up
the
towards
only
them.
team over
And that's
on that
0.
west side, close
It'll
to
be
the
0
battlefield.
rotating.
They can play off the lip of the fence lines just to
Maybe
get on
Hal.
the
If
side
Hal's
of the other
fused, it
teams
might be
that
Hal.
may have a 30-30 in their hands to stare them down.
Twisted Minds, they're in about again.
This isn't going to be a fun building to be a part of.
MSVP.
I think that's evident. 3 teams in here.
Yeah, Hal wants it, so
all kind of
Zero's
just trying to avoid
peeking
each
out.
other at the moment, but eventually
Rotating
when you have to
around.
move, is anyone brave enough to take the jump tower? That's the real question. Do you
Got
take
2,
the zip?
no, they got 1 red. 2
The
perp.
answer's probably no. Let's be honest, but you never know.
Yeah, 0 wants
It
to
is
fight them.
covered if no one's looking
If they win
at
that
you,
3v3
but
on
where- you
TSM,
can't even
they
land.
win the
There's
game.
no Valkyrie in this
0
lobby.
knows it.
You won't even know where to land, where it's safe
looking
to
for it.
find your spot here with
They're
their,
gonna move
with
for it.
their
Yeah, they're moving for it
8
now.
squads left
This is
now.
for gun
As that
spot.
zone starts closing
It's
in,
gonna be-
Zero makes the first move though with the ash portal just in the right
Ooh,
position.
come on, 0.
Ooh. Almost. Yeah, Falcons can take the northern side. This will work as long as they can use these hedges
Zero
and the
should hit
rocks for
that.
now just to avoid any sight lines.
TSM, they've gotta look
They can
left
join
here.
The likes of TSM and just peppering those teams that have
Falcons
to move
coming
from
up on you.
awkward
You
areas.
gotta
Of
watch
course,
for that.
a lot of ashes.
Al dead to
75%
0.
of the lobby have ash in
Love
their
and dead.
composition,
Twisted
so we're
Minds
seeing a lot
out.
of portals here as Twisted Minds go down.
I'm also seeing a lot of
Zach
Kravers in the
Majors
zone, too.
getting
Panic just
Sentinels.
was able to acquire a Kraber. VP trying to stay alive. Slayer
Sentinels out.
gonna be able to find the last player. Sentinels get eliminated. 6 squads
Zero
left.
gets another
Slayer's
one.
the only
It's
one
chills.
with some shields to work with. Meanwhile,
VP
here on
are
the stairwell,
dead
Team
now.
Orchid
Filling us
has some
out.
blue evos, and Slayer's
Awkward's gonna
literally
get him.
watch
Yep,
out. You
Awkward's
cannot
get him.
out of this.
Zero
They
gets
get
knocks
eliminated
duplex.
by 30-30.
So all of those teams.
Oh, he's
on
getting the
these
res
in that
off.
building
Oh,
die.
Waltzy.
Oh. It's back and forth at the moment. A trade for trade when it comes to the snipers. Can Falcons get
Waltzy just
Waltzy back
threw.
up? The answer's no.
Oh, that's a
he has
clutch
him down.
shot.
Oh,
But they're dead.
But he's one shot and he's getting shot from behind.
Awkward's
too.
coming
It's
up from
the
behind
Kraber
as
v.
well.
Kraber, the Zero versus Panic 1v1. Waltzy also, I believe, had a Kraber in the feed, but this is such a difficult position for Zero to be in.
Ooh. 0
The res for you.
showing why he's the
Denied.
GOAT. Hal's my
Even
goat,
though
but
his back's
0
against the wall, or
doing
the hedge
very
in this
well right
particular
now.
moment, still getting involved with the rest of the lobby. Just to try and
TSM
initiate
are
some
all back
gunfire
up.
elsewhere and take
Falcons
the
had to
attention
take
away
that
from him.
3v3 on TSM. That's why Zero's pushing it and he was sniping them. I don't know what Waltzy and Hal were doing, but
I'm not going down without a fight specifically.
I assume they're
not
holding
you,
space
Bane,
against the other
not you, and
teams.
Zero,
Zero, you're just dead here, bro.
Everyone knows how vulnerable.
Yeah,
this
Zero, you're
squad
just
is,
dead.
even if they don't know it, and with
TSM have done
holding the
very
better
well.
Position, Panic still continues the harassment with these P20s as well as that Kraber
Jen
in
gets
this lane.
Awkward. It's Bo.
It's looking pretty good for TSM
Duplex
right
gets
now.
hand beat. They're killing everyone right
Great
now.
coverage of this zone. They've taken a good amount of space.
Get that res
Zero
off.
could
Gotta
ruin
get
it
Hal
for
up.
them, I will be honest. The entirety of Falcons could ruin
Gotta
this
get Hal
one,
up.
or at least 2 of them. Hal looks like he's going to be back on his feet.
Never mind.
Oh, maybe not. Denied.
Smart from Panic.
TSM saying,
Rotating that.
actually, we heard
Falcons
that one,
down.
and TSM take even more space here on this map.
Oh, this is a
NIP
big
finally
game
being
from
able to reset
TSM.
after that. Well, I said finally here. Team Orchid get eliminated.
Huge
The last
game
two
for
teams,
TSM.
they got deleted.
Huge
TSM
game.
Just walk up to get the dub for game number 2.
Was it big enough to take first spot? So all gamers game bigger.
TSM
We got 27 all gamers,
already
game 1.
finding a huge game for themselves here in this series as well.
It's a huge game.
Like I said, they just had so much coverage. As soon as all those teams died on the western side, they not only were able to take the west, but they also got so much reward from the death boxes of grenades and utility. And I think they put those grenades to pretty good use as well to shut down some of those opposition teams.
Definitely agree. And aside from that, too, we keep seeing our winning squads end the game with these double-digit KP. Let's not forget that TSM sat down in that choke and prevented the other teams coming in from the west side of that zone from coming in from that choke specifically.
1
Everyone
point
was
short.
thrown into their line of sight.
I don't know how they
They
went
held
game
it
1 though.
down hard, looking at this dub with 14 KP to their name.
These energy out early. Fury Shopify out early. And Twisted Minds early. VP out early. Falcons early. No, Falcons went early. What the fuck? VP went early either.
To go
Tied.
over that match point threshold, but no one will be there just yet.
Not even
Real question
close.
is, when is someone going to cross
Hopefully soon.
match point? But
I'll
that
go
was
to bed.
Broken Moon. We move over to E District next, and it's going to be back-to-back E District. But these are the top
Go
3 performing teams.
Panic! 2.2k damage. Where's zero? I want to see zeros. Yeah, Panic went off.
Damage with 9 KP.
That's crazy.
Literally coming through with a clutch game number 2, putting on the performance and also highlighting why Panic Apex was picked up by TSM.
Yeah,
Beautiful
he
look
went
here
off.
too, not only with the kill participation, but just in general with the output and damage and the KP.
I think he managed to get 3 knocks with 1 single grenade. It was
yeah, that was on NRG.
Yeah, pretty intense on the side of TSM.
So TSM had
29
first.
Points, they will be in first. They overtake all gamers in second place. So both of them are now
NRG's
over halfway
18th.
towards match
Rough.
point. NIP
That's
also
first place
slowly
overall.
but
That's why
surely
NA is so
steading
much
their way
more
towards match point as well, but still a
competitive,
lot of
because
games to be played
in
here
EMEA,
before we
first
see a
place
team cross.
alliance
And the thing is with America's
got
victory
100
is
points
all
and
it
came
takes
second
now is
overall.
another
But
big team
first
taking
place
a big game,
NRG is
and
in
we are still
18th
further
place
away
with
from
2
another team
points
getting to
or
match
whatever
point
it is
because there's
after
just so
2
many points to
games.
be shared between
That's
these
crazy.
teams.
It's crazy with match point format being introduced here for the regional final to further highlight what the teams need to do to be sitting at that 50-point threshold. A lot on the line for our teams looking to qualify for the EWC. Don't go anywhere. We got game number 3 coming to you guys on the other side of this break.
I'll be back.
Sony InZone, the official monitor of the Apex Legends Global Series.
Welcome back. We've had so much action across the APAC region as well as EMEA earlier on. You got a chance to catch a glimpse of what had transpired. Now in North America, we're still writing that story. Welcome back here after Game 2. It's Game 3, Rain Day and Onset on the call with you. And of course, it's important to look at where we're headed, Mark, because it turns into probably one of the more unfamiliar maps. Broken Moon maybe the least played. E-District maybe the most difficult in terms of some of the routes that these players are still discovering, holding spots. Now with Ash, now with Alter no longer in the mix. We saw it before. It becomes now a conversation on how you navigate with the Legends available.
It certainly does. It's interesting that
Alright, Game 3. Alter banned and Ash banned. Are we shocked? No, that's how every game's gone so far. Ash and Alter just get chopped Game 1 and Game 2. It was just the opposite way around. Last time, AMA was Ash, then Alter. NA is Alter, then Ash. TSM and all gamers taking Game 1 and Game 2. Not one of them with my top 5 predictions.
Into E-District here, and it's back-to-back E-Districts teams. At least have a chance to get a little bit comfortable on a map here in comparison to the constant change that we see map after map so far.
So keen for the Esports World Cup there.
Great one here as we head into E-District, where the lights are bright and the city is alive.
Panic went
TSM
off, man, that's
trying to
crazy.
stay on the right side of the standings here. First place.
Skittles replacement.
Duplex, Panic, Apex, and Gent.
I think he was.
Panic just having his moment of discovering what it means to be a pro and continue to hold that standard high. You know, a lot of these players come in
Sip
and
the Red Bull.
You know, are challenged in different ways, and Panic has certainly made a splash, got a lot of eyes on him, and for good reason.
Surely someone in my top 5 is going to play well this game.
I told the story before. His young brother
Literally
came
5
and said, guess who?
The best.
Guess who's my brother? I said, who? He said, Panic Apex. And he said it with such pride. You know he's a good bro, but you know he's also, in that way, kind of a team player. He's going to do what he needs to do to help make the people around
Falcons
him
are at
feel
10,
like
100Ds are
they're
at
supported.
9
TSM.
points,
Let's see
and
if
100Ds
they
at
can
3
continue here
points, and
they can hold
SR's
on to
at
first
2
place. A lot of
points, and
people are
Twisted
this
Minds at 10,
iteration
okay.
of probably the
The
most
3 of them are
iconic
like
org
average,
in
the
our
other 2 are
ALGS history.
not doing well
Panic's
at
certainly
all.
not short of confidence when it comes to
NRG's up at Lotus, Falcons
both
is
in-game
over at
and out of game.
Boardwalk.
I'm sure that a lot of people would
100Ds in the
already,
middle,
I just feel like
already
you need a bit of
rotating
that
into
sometimes to hit
zone.
the top echelons of any
Zone's going
competitive you
south.
have this belief in yourself and your ability, and he's shown that in game number 1.
Where's top of
he's a
5
player
on
that's
the
gonna
right?
keep rising, and his stock is going to
Mr.
keep
Mines,
rising as long as he keeps
also in the
performing
middle.
like that. And just taking a look at the where the zone is going to be going, it's down towards the
LG
southern side.
Furia.
Humble Labs probably
Living
not
right now.
going to be the end game. I imagine it would shift over slightly to the west, but this is one of those zones that kind of ping pongs when we see end games and scrims. It can pull towards Humble Labs, but sometimes it pulls back towards the other side. So zone 3
Well, Sentinel's already dying to Orca.
As it's not dying on your way to zone 2, which is not looking like something that could happen here for Sentinels, as Kara is already taken down.
Yeah, it seems like
Sentinel's
got to
run.
Step 1. Orchid on the run. It's been
Assume
great to see
that's
Rambo
them hitting the
competing
evac.
yet again. Hambino, Luxford found their ways.
Oh, shots.
In and out.
Shots.
That
Come
one.
on.
Oh boy.
Come on.
That's going to be something spicy. So
Bloody hell,
hard to get
Hambino.
those flying shots, especially with those projectiles. Really no hit scan weapons, essentially, that are pretty active in our ALGS scene.
They're not
Got a few
chasing you,
options in the
surely.
past, but so difficult to hit some of those shots. Hambino does a good job of applying the pressure. Are they going to go on Chase? We'll see. Speaking of that, Chase Mob, Cruel Buckle, and Jay, CTE running away.
Twisted Minds.
Twisted
In
Minds,
11th.
the ones
Looking for a
forcing
good
him to
game
run.
here.
Albrelelli, Enemy and Crook. They're known
I
for
should have,
finding these
to be
zones.
fair,
One of
I
the
had a
things that,
thought just before the
you know, he
game.
said, working
I
with
went,
Godsick, Crook, we talked to him
when I
last
was
week,
choosing my
how
5,
much they
it chose me
drilled
5,
down
and I
these
went,
zones are going
you've
to
got to
end.
stick
So
with
really
it.
Twisted
But I
Minds,
went,
usually they're in a pretty good
every
spot.
single one of these teams I've chosen,
might be
they've
where it's
already
ended up.
qualified for LAN, so they're not as desperate.
I can say this because he's a good friend of mine.
I went, they can work in two ways. One, they're not that desperate, so they just play smart and do pretty well. Because, you know, there's not much pressure on them. They've already quelled. Or was going to go the other way of the teams that haven't quelled build the pressure, so they start playing very aggressive and start playing very well, like your All Gamers and your Furious and your TSMs. And so far, that's how it's been. All gamers and VP and TSM, they've been like McCollum today, so they've been playing well.
For Furia.
I thought for a second, but I went, there's no way I'm going to not pick 100 Thieves, NRG, or Falcons.
Maybe.
Three of the best teams so far.
Nope. No Conduit, no Vantage, no Octane.
And then Shopify and Twisted Minds just really like them. I thought they'd have a good day.
From CTE still on the fight. They've created some distance. Keon trying to hide out.
Twisted Minds have been okay.
They are eliminated. First team to go down. NIP, Kurev.
VP had 2 good games.
Keon was actually scrimming with.
It's alright, they have a bad game here, I think.
Conduit earlier on E District.
Panic stations yet for them. But if NRG want to finish first overall, they definitely got to pick up their game. Falcons have been in front of them now.
In the standings, 23 points in
Definitely.
2 games, nothing to be
They
disappointed
were tied,
with.
so
Average of 10 points per game is usually
both on, was it 96 points?
So
I think it was.
just over that. Shows you how well they are playing at the moment. You can also see the temp has been popped somewhere along the line as the team is looking to fight. Speaking of which, let's take a look at Humbert Labs. This is where
LG need a big game. Like, they're not in the top 16 right now. NA's top 16 go through. It's a bit ridiculous, but it makes sense. They're a lot better, but it shouldn't be 16. It should be, I reckon, like 12 or 13, not 16. 16 is just too many. Like, there's no point of a regional finals. 16. But I'm still watching it because it's like the best of the best going at it.
Back their own ability to make a rotation, but
yeah, it shouldn't be 16. It should be like 12. 12 maximum. Yeah. I think that should be like, yeah, I think 12.
Going into where people are holding too, I mean, just on that southeast.
Give one more to EMEA and give one more to each Apex.
50 in one hand, half a dozen, 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other, because yeah, you could split it either way, but maybe the idea is that, hey, we're all doing this. Maybe
D's already moved in. TSM already got a good spot. T-Law's moving in.
Rotating quickly. They're saying, okay, here we know Twisted Minds is. It's got to be somewhere else. But at the end of the day, too,
Keon, it's a guy from Villainous, one of the rare guys I don't know. Oh!
7 teams if it
Shot
does.
nasal.
10 teams who are already sitting there versus, all the teams on the right-hand side in the East. They're only going to have to go up against 3 teams.
Bafana holding, moving in.
Have to try to move into that zone. So maybe putting themselves on even footing based on the majority of this lobby. Either way, though, it's still a bit of a gamble, and they know that. TSM up above, Liquid Alien.
Curious to know, Furia down. Curious to know what character's been picked most this game.
This team sometimes has the tendency to go 0 or hero. And so they've actually kind of played it right up the middle, 13.6.
I want an overhead view. I want to know who's in the god spots so far. TSM look like an alright spot, but still a big zone.
Escape and get his teammates back on the map, so that'll be Furia eliminated from on the lobby.
Falcons and NRG up top.
That is where everybody is at the moment.
Did NRG know they're being followed by Falcons?
Teams already stacked up inside of Humber Labs. You've got Falcons on the north side rotating with NRG. All gamers are.
They're very close. That's concerning.
You can see they got some tracker darts down as well. So anyone tries to rotate through.
Swear to God, NRG, please.
Know there's a team coming in behind them and. I think that's another
Plus,
thing
my first time watch partying is.
A lot of people aren't given enough value to.
They're shooting at them, so they know they're there.
Being able to essentially kind of leave your back open if you have some tracker darts down in good positions.
Yeah, just go the other way.
It allows you to focus
good
forward
losers.
And not really worry until that dart is activated. But one team who's going to have to worry about them as they make their rotation in and make sure they don't get Spider-Man in tracker darts is Falcons. So let's jump into a listen and see what the plan is.
You guys standing in on the doorway.
Can we climb through the gate?
Yeah.
Didn't even know you could do that. Wow.
But I'm coming.
It's a thing.
Really bad. There's a blue bag on that roof up.
Now I know that.
Okay. Alright, I'm going for it, I guess. Someone else just hit map room.
Can you hit map room now?
Wait, yeah. Wait, which one? Behind us or the front of us?
The right one.
Yeah, I'm going. I went around. Battery in here, I'm grabbing.
That fuse going. We stay map room, we climb over wall 2.
You might have a shot for me. I've hit 2 for 20. I can't really. I'm selling.
1!
He's pulling 1.
Oh god.
Holy fuck, Reese.
Skull left. Did you hit it? No, you didn't.
Yeah. No, he got it.
Alright, stadium side, boys. Look at this fucking. Run.
Running. We have evacs. Yeah. We're taking a late. There.
This building is. We should just go there. Just fucking land on it.
I'm down. We're following it.
Are you backing?
Yeah. Do we do gen top floor straight away?
Yeah, sure.
Bro, I gotta kill that fucking guy.
Bro, you're fucking cheating.
No, he.
I'm flying right now! To the south!
What are you? Cracked!
He's one! He's 50. Fuck.
I don't know if there's anyone here.
Team shooting us. There's fences, but they haven't peeked, bro. I think they might be in here.
I'm gonna try control space, like it's a small build. Bro, that fuse moves like a spastic after I two-tapped him because he got scared. And I pulled out ballistic cue because I thought he'd go inside. If I shot, he would have died.
Well, Falcons on that.
That is why Falcons are one of the best teams. The comms then.
Mark, they were talking. I like the communication going from them so far.
Like, they've just got a good spot in the second zone, just like that.
Sounds like they're calm, but on the edge. You know, anything can blow up.
All panic goes down.
So we're trying to stay calm, but they're kind of gritting our teeth through it. Sentinels look like they're getting the respawn here. Low is going to land, hopefully without taking too much damage for their sake, and lands straight into that port. So well placed at portal from the Wraith.
Not afraid to get aggressive here. Makes sense. They got two of the best
Imperial Howl hitting
aggressive players in the game. Three of the best IGLs in the game. For one team.
The change of nature of it. A lot of
I really want them to disperse purely because I love all three of them individually.
With that range, but that vision, I mean, especially on a map like this,
when Multi was on Not Moist, How was on TSM, Zero was on Dark Zero.
On E District, you got these.
They were some of the best games watching. M3 just dominating.
That, you know, really are full.
And then Falcons went, oh, we got money. Here you go. Three of the best players in the game. Come join us.
Incisive rotations. That's what.
And then 100 Thieves were got the reject squad to were Howls and Zero's teammates that went, oh, okay, they're leaving us when we won competitions together, so I'm going to go team up with the other guy that got left and we're going to beat yous. And haven't done it yet, but they will. They're a good combination of a trio. Evan is so good. I rate Evan so highly. NRG's been the shocking team. Timmy moved Yanya for Sykes. I didn't know I felt that. Guild is amazing. Timmy's been very good. Shockingly good. And I'm like, and the reason why I watched this was because of him.
Would certainly need it.
And he's like shocked me. And I didn't know much about Sykes. I've watched him here and there, but obviously adding him's worked. But they've not done well today.
Only LG behind them in overall standings. It would take a win. Most likely to put them in
every time they've not done well though, and I've gone, oh, here we go. The bad games are coming now. They pull a win like round 3 or 4 and launch straight up the top 4, top 5. So we'll see if they do it again, but they probably won't because it just doesn't matter. This is a horrible spot. One grenade and they're dead. Yeah. What was that? That is a horrible spot. Plus shots though. 5 bit of time. Oh, they're dead. That is horrible from Twisted Minds. There's so much space there. Why did they do it? That Newcastle ult was so small. They had no space. They had so much more they could have taken.
Still in Humber Labs, who aren't leaving and being forced to move themselves.
Guild, Sykes, Timmy.
Everything. Sometimes in Apex Legends on those rotations, Movistar are going to be eliminated as well. So 4 teams now out of the
this
lobby
next zone pool is going to be huge.
In a fantastic spot once again. It was a great game 1 for them when they got the win.
Villainous is dead.
Success here in game 2 as well.
Ninjas in pajamas.
The envelope here. They've got a Stinger bolt out from Sparrow, and they've got potentially a Tempest charging up, ready to go at 70%.
Yeah, so Nasuke used to be on this team.
The envelope, but they're already okay.
Pretty sure.
Take Bucks down. Villainous will.
Nasuke just missed out in EMEA.
Continue to rack up some points. Devotion in the sling, ready to go. As
just didn't qualify.
He's still there.
One
of the interesting elements about Villainous staying alive, but yes, in that kind of 13th spot. Obviously, trying to hold on to that as teams like Flat.
Only on the red. I'd give the red to Evan, to be honest. But if only is the IGL, he probably overextends a lot. Probably needs the extra HP, but I'm giving it to Evan.
Managed to find himself not just the red helmet to give himself
Evan's Verhols,
but also the triple take in his hands, which is such a good weapon for playing a little bit of an open area because you can output so much damage so quickly that nobody.
Rev kills one of the players I don't know. Illinois. Very rare that I don't know someone.
maybe a secondary spot to move to, having made that initial rotation. That's a look at the map.
Shopify.
That's the position
They're
we're talking
alive?
about
It's
with
crazy.
Rock, who are just holding down so
Usually
much
dead by now.
space at the
16
moment
squads
as
left.
to where that zone is going to be going. I tell you what, if you were to have played on that western side,
Oh my god.
you would
Goal
be
was
in a
scored.
great
EN,
spot right
EA? EM?
Yeah.
I think it's EM?
Conversation is, though,
EA?
what can Rock do in
EA?
terms of-
The other
and this is
region
kind of this quandary I set
usually
up,
had like
you know,
10 squads
11,
left by now.
12 teams moving that direction.
Not 16.
Because that is a lot of teams to try to zone
It's
out.
EMEA.
It's gonna open up some space versus if you were Rock trying to get into that building
Lux
on
the
the
dead
eastern
from
side,
Walker.
oh my god, that seems like you know, a pipe dream. So now you will
Energized
see
zip
that
line,
relative
pushing across. No one's
dynamic
watching them,
occur.
they're
Can
good.
Rock hold out enough
TSM are
to
not
keep
watching
that
behind them
spot
right
on
now.
the west? Can NIP
Yeah, and they're
move
gonna
in
pay
from
for
the
it.
south
Duplex goes
and
down.
hold there as well? Will Shopify Rebellion be able to climb one of these
Flat's dying.
fights and
Yeah.
stay on height?
Panic
especially
goes
with TSM
down.
right in front of them.
They didn't watch their
Zone's got the
backs.
knock-on to Panic.
SR's just pushed up on them.
Sending it through the catwalk. The wall is down from the Newcastle as well.
I don't know who the hell Jay's on. One of the teams I don't know.
Rebellion
How did these get to kill?
into zone, and if they're
Where did
to the ground here, there might be a third
TSM
opportunity
go?
for 100 Thieves as well, because Verhouse and Jen Bird are trying to hold at the moment, but there's damage
Yeah, they
being
are. There's
done
Panic.
everywhere at the moment.
Panic the last one
Got
up.
back up by TSM.
Dropped goes.
Forcing the
SR's
combo in
getting
his
some
hands,
knocks right now.
alongside Zainu is outputting damage, and Shopify will be
Drop
safe
goes
now.
down.
Really love what these teams can do in terms of
Shuby
defense,
dies to
holding up
bow.
these weird spots at times.
This
with
team
that
awkward.
Newcastle wall and with the Watson crypto for MT
100 Thieves against
Joyful
SR here. This is a huge fight.
on the Pathfinder, but on the other side of things, 100 Thieves, they have that Newcastle
Evan's
Watson
gonna
in the
die.
red, so a little bit more movement.
Should have given Evan the
a little
red,
more
but
control
phony
in
for
terms
those
of
Zams.
holding out a zone, but
Koi
who
gets
can
Jen.
ball from Koiful when you're just grabbing Jen
Oh, this is
Perkins
gonna be 1v1.
by
Evan against
Carroll,
Koi.
taking it.
Evan against Koi.
100 Thieves
Oh,
find a way
T-Law,
to
the
just
third party.
go down one by one, but then have a second
T-Law
to respond.
ruins the
Koiful
day.
thinks he got the job done, but then all of a sudden,
An
it's like
SR.
everywhere who
Oh,
showed
Panic
up
comes
and
in with a
takes
third
third
party.
as a third party
Fourth party,
approaches
actually.
and cleans
Panic
up
gets
Shopify
one.
as well.
This is the worry when you've got so many teams stacked up.
Lord of the
all a
Rings
sudden
gets
that
naughty.
zone pull
Guild
back
gets
to the west
dropped.
side and everybody has to leave.
Illinois
and
down.
everybody has to change their attention to KP. Essentially,
Flat dead.
nobody who is
Guild
in
finishes
Humber Labs
dropped.
right now is thinking about
Nice,
winning the
Guild.
game.
And a boy,
Everyone is
son.
thinking about how do we get the most points on the board possible. Well, a lot of
Oh, no.
teams
Oh, no.
gonna
Oh,
look
no.
for
Oh, no.
third-party opportunities.
Thank
Zero's looking
fuck
for
Zero
first-party
just whiffed.
chances, though, as the zip line from NRG is gonna
Okay,
take
Zero.
them
Zero,
away from
relax.
some of the
Zero,
action.
relax.
Zero
Fuck.
is not letting them get away without letting them know he's just behind them. Once he finishes up one of those outputs of damage coming in from the 30-30, and
Dead,
Zero
aren't
managed to get the knock onto Guild.
And it's happened again.
Source
Zero
stars,
got
as I
one
said.
getaway earlier on. He said,
He's a bit
"Not today.
inconsistent.
Not
But, I
again.
mean, they're in
Gotta
8th,
get
so.
pop that Tempest, and we're going to make sure that the pressure
Hal
continues.
gets skilled a case.
And
Good.
that is
They're
gonna
not fighting
be
NRG
a big
anymore.
source
Zap
of the
gets
confidence for
T-Law.
Falcons, Open champions.
Everyone's fighting everyone.
Trying
All
to go
games are
ahead and
dead.
win regional
Nah, they
finals as
still are
well.
fighting
This would
NRG.
be a big moment for them, especially
Timmy's and
setting up what
Viz
will
in
be
the middle.
a massive mid-season playoffs opportunity. But NRG, they've also been a big
Jesus
source
Christ,
to
there's
me.
so
One of
many
the best
fights.
teams.
How's
First
everyone
place
still
for the
alive?
Falcons
LG
with the
down.
tiebreaker. Then they keep it up.
Nasals
He's always said he'd have to go big.
dead. T-Law dead. Orc dead.
Not
Fusion
big
dead.
enough.
LG dead.
He's in
CTE
the
dead.
8th place for Liquid Alien, where CTE
TSM are still alive? How?
Final 6 with Sentinels as well, somehow making it out.
Guild gets a
lot of
knock.
teams just fell
Sykes
very,
gets a
very
knock.
quickly. It was all the teams that had to leave Humber Labs. Falcons still alive though. TSM, Sentinels, Ninjas in pajamas, NRG, and Rock. Rock down on the low ground as a duo though, even though they had that great spot.
Double red
They're
for
gonna have to try and
Sentinels.
play this one out as a
Oh,
two,
but they weren't
unless
looking
find
up.
themselves a little moment.
NIP gets a knock on Lord of the
Trying to
Rings.
hold this angle with the Devo, but has to change over, and Vayne says, hey, whatever you've got, I've got one too. He fires back with that Devo spray.
Timmy gets a knock on
from
back.
the swing, but now that the Tempest has run out, doesn't have that
If
availability.
NRG do it, I literally just called it. I said they do nothing for like 2 games, and I go, oh, here we go.
He's not worried about the KP
And
so
then they
much,
just
he's
pop
trying to
off
stop
and
this
win a
rotate
huge
on this
game.
side.
But there's still a lot of work to do.
Holding the zone quite well. Mobile respawn beacon
get
for
the banner and
Karev.
get that
They'll be
res.
back up as a 3 as they grab the banner. In that exchange,
Don't think
Rock
NRG
falls
win this game. They've got,
now it's a top 4
they've
with
got
Falcons, NRG,
Timmy's just chilling in the
TSM,
open.
and NIP.
Oh,
TSM
I thought
trying to
Falcons
get
were on the bridge. No, they're
more
down below.
members up if possible, but it's just a solo right now. And of course, NRG, NIP, and Falcons.
Guild
fighting as a
holding
full
it.
3. NRG
Falcons
on
there.
the high ground here. Gilderson's with the devotion. That's a scary conversation. Zero and Waltzy trying to avoid that discussion as best they can, and they do. Going underneath the bridge. NRG as well. Timmy holding on that right side, but this is a clash. That feels
This is a
inevitable here,
weird
as, of course,
end
Falcons
game.
on the low ground, gonna have to play this. at some point and try to get up here.
I don't know how Falcons get out of this situation. You can see they're trying to use potentially an EMP in that situation, although I think they got EMP'd. I'm not sure if Falcons have it available.
Oh no, NIG just got flanked by Vayne.
NIG get walked up on. NIP from the shadows give them the jump scare of a lifetime, and that's given the opportunity for Falcons to not only move out for the position they were stuck in, but clean up KP, and now they have an evac tower as well to get over the top.
Oh my God, now this fight is between two teams on opposite sides of the wall. I mean, look at this. This is literally our last two teams here fighting. There's a huge wall in between, and somehow McLovin takes down
NIP win.
NIP are the champions. Falcons move, but they get
That flank. Why was NRG not watching their back? Someone missed their job there.
For a second there, I thought that Hal was just like, had to lose that. It was just over. I think the Falcons recognized they weren't going to be able to win that game. House made it over, made it to the top of the wall, dropped in and still managed to take someone down with him. But it's going to be Ninjas in Pajamas who win that game on E-District. Game number 3 belongs to them.
Well, you know, I see the interesting quandary that NRG were in because Falcons made it out, which felt like they were in a situation they shouldn't have made it out because NRG was hesitant to drop down. And that peak from above, you have to kind of poke your head out first, which obviously we're talking about devotions, 30-30 repeaters with skull piercers.
Why weren't they watching
That's not a good head poke that you really want to try to play at that angle, especially against a team of Falcons quality. So NRG wait, they're a little hesitant, and NIP make the swing move. That ultimately was the smartest move from NIP. That secured Falcons not being a team that was on that high ridge, and so it gave NIP a chance with more space to force Falcons to move and to be under duress that entire time. I like NIP taking
NRG should have been watching
and
that.
more often I feel like that's the
28
decisive moment that you either win or lose championships, you win or lose games. It's top 4, it's top 7. You make one play, and you know that everything else cascades from there.
Yeah, I think NIP made the right play. I think NRG just forgot to watch their backs. They committed too much to the Falcons. They were worried too much about what Falcons were going to do and wrap behind them, that they got wrapped behind themselves. So, unfortunately for them, it means they don't get into the top 3, but your top 3 on your screen right now. 28 points, by the way, for NIP in that game. 16 kills, and everybody outputting a huge amount of damage. When the least amount of damage on a team is 1.5k, you're probably doing a pretty good job.
I mean, Curve has been playing well, but Vayne and McLovin, this duo, 2k damage over this game from both of them.
NIP,
that is an incredible
damn.
Duo there. Guys who have kind of not been
against Falcons, Tilo. I have one in the top 10 from my top 5. Top 5 is an 80. 100Ds in 15. Twitter mine's 40. And our cheese in 12. My predictions has not been going well. My top 5 prediction is not going well at all. Falcons is the only one in the top 10.
Match point, TSM, who was our leader, now in second with 38.
Yeah, I think the consistency from NIP in matches 1 and 2
they've been pretty
put them in that position where when they finally had that big game, suddenly they are candidates to win this whole thing. And I think that was the point I was trying to make, but I don't think I made very well at the end of last game, is that there are so many good teams here that, yes, you might have one big game, but someone else will do it the next game. Someone will take that moment away from you the very next match. So it is about being consistent here. You can't just have one big game and then not do anything. You need to be having consistent big games.
Yeah, I love the analogy too to that aspect of, like, you know, you're only going to get a couple of shots, right? But if you know that, hey, I get 10 shots, that's enough. I'm going to make a few of them, right? You just have to put yourself in the position to then get the shots. That's all it is. I think a lot of these teams throughout the season have just proven that, hey, if we get in this lobby, we're going to have a chance to win because we're that good. We know we have a game plan. We know if we get enough chances, we will make it happen, and that's certainly what NIP have shown. That's what TSM have shown as well. All gamers as well. These teams that, you know, maybe we're not talking about first and foremost in North America, but certainly have made the conversation shift towards them. All right, as we take a little bit of a halftime break here, settle in, let the players use the restroom, bio break, all that.
We have an halftime break. All right, I'll be back.
Reset before we do another E-District and get to the back half of potentially today. It is time to go to our favorite little segment, What You Might Have Missed, otherwise known as on our back end and now on the front end for you guys as well. Let's talk a little bit about EMEA, because if you missed it, boy, oh boy, was that a moment. We had a early kind of day start thinking, hey, maybe it'll end early, have a little bit of time for some lunch, maybe a little nap, you know, in between regions. Yeah, right. No, not at all. EMEA not only didn't go 6 games, didn't go 7, didn't go 8, didn't go 9, didn't go 10, it went 11 games, and it was this close to going 12. FaZe Clan did it. They somehow found a way, after Alliance got an early match point, to stall this game out in what was a lobby with 12 teams on match point and 8 teams who were not on match point, meaning if pretty much the majority of the lobby had a chance to win, it was all going to be over. FaZe makes it happen. Nodus Vincier end up attacking Dragons at the end of it, and it ultimately puts them into a situation where it opens things up yet again. Another story, 10K, Nasky, and Kashera, they're sitting in the top spots. They're finding ways to be successful, but slowly but surely, they're playing a little bit too conservative, some may think. As these games keep going on, that point total starts to look less and less optimistic for them making in that top 8, and the final game ultimately pushes them out of mid-season playoffs. 3 players who have been in so many of our playoffs over the course of ALGS history. It's going to be wild to see them not a part of this one, especially if this game had ended in any game besides 11th, that would have been the case. But overall, I mean, when you consider that EMEA is a region with only 8 spots and North America a region with 16, you can see why it was so desperate for a lot of these teams. Ultimately, at the end of it, it would be a Gibraltar, Valkyrie, and Rampart combination that would win the game after, you could see it right there, 10 legend bans. Unbelievable. And those were the series results. Go Next would claim the victory with Nodus Vincier and FaZe Clan in that final 3. And yeah, guys, if FaZe had won, it was close. It would have gone to game 12. Unbelievable. That final obviously kept Alliance and Navi, who were already secured going into our EWC midseason playoffs already, but it allowed Ronin to sneak past 10K and claim that final spot. So the teams that will be going are Alliance, Nodus Vincier, Team Nemesis, Zero Tenacity, Mouse, Ronin, Gaming Gladiators, and Go Next. We will see them representing EMEA in mid-season playoffs. But of course, Mark, it was not the only region to have played over these last weekends. APAC North had some action, and they would qualify their teams heading into our mid-season playoffs as well.
Yeah, they certainly did indeed, and I think there's a few stories to really talk about here. Regional finals obviously didn't disappoint. Match number 3, it was SBI Esports who followed up a very impressive match number 2 as well, which was 4th place with 11 kills to win their first match of the regional final. So this was their first win on the board, but hey, spoiler alert everybody, it certainly wasn't the last match, if you get what I'm saying. SBI Esports did manage to win. Just these final moments here, you'll see Fnatic involved in it, but the high ground for SBI just too much to overcome as they jump down to be the ultimate third party to clean up the final pieces of Fnatic. That will bring them their first win. Then we move on to match number 4, and you might have heard of a team called E36 if you remember the ALGS Championships in Sapporo, Japan, which was a wonderful time for everybody who was watching or there or involved in any sort of way. Well, they dropped an absolute nuke of a game, and they did the same thing here. You can see already that they had a huge amount of KP, and they actually end this game with 36 points. First place and 24 kills after in the first 3 matches, they only managed to put up 1 kill per game. So 3 kills across 3 games, and then they dropped 24 in this match. It was an absolute monster performance from them. E36 come out with the win here in the final moments, and you'll see the final moments of it here as they manage to clean out. Once again, Fnatic involved in that endgame, but just not good enough to get that final moment going their way. But yeah, a huge, a monster performance. Seems like E36 is all or nothing. Then we move on to match number 8, which would be the final match of APAC North's regional finals, and I might have given it away. Who knows? If you're maybe a little bit slow like me, then it might have taken you a bit of time to understand what I was trying to say. But SBI Esports, they did indeed get the win. They closed out the regional finals. A couple of 3 players really who are looking to make a name for themselves, and they certainly are now in the region and now have the opportunity to do so on the worldwide stage. It's the first time that they hit match point was in the previous game. This was their first game on match point, and they closed it out. It's a fantastic story for APAC North. But also a big shout out to the likes of Crazy Raccoon, who going into the APAC North Regional Finals were really struggling to qualify, but they made it through in that final qualification spot. So some of your fan favorites from APAC North will certainly be at the mid-season playoffs being represented, but what a moment for SBI Esports. And I'm Mikey's, by the way. What a way to close it out. Look at this. It's a 1v1v1 to win the regional finals, and he is the coldest man in the building. Look at this. Double R9. Gets the job done.
I'm freezing after hearing that. It's a nice line. SBI Esports coming out on top here for APAC North. Great overall set and a great bit of action. Honestly, it gets even better as we keep talking about these regions, but overall, SBI taking the top spot. Noah's Fox, you can see they were out of those regional standings for the overall series, but in overall and qualified teams, they were second place. So we'll be seeing them alongside Interforce 36, RRX, Crazy Raccoon, Kinotrope Gaming, Fnatic, and Unlimit at our midseason playoffs in the middle of July. Fnatic, I think a team that definitely needs to find that spark yet again. Currently, you know, a team that didn't have a great open, but certainly is looking to bounce back. And speaking of that, APAC South as well, team that has some pretty decent representatives almost at every single LAN, a region very proud of its Apex play, but they put on a show in their regional finals as well, Dan.
They did. We got the Genome show as well. Genome streamed everything that went down in APAC South regional finals, and we started off with JDG getting a win with 15 kills alongside it, which I think was going to set the precedent of how things were going to go for the rest of this lobby. I was like, all right, we're going to get big kill games. JDG are probably going to walk away with it. It's going to be easy for them. No one's going to even compete. But then other teams started to turn up, and actually JDG weren't even the first team to reach match point. It was, in fact, Gen G. So this was match 3. They did go on to win this game and later became the first team to reach match point eligibility in match 5. So off the back of this one, it just gave them enough points to be consistent going into 4 and 5 to cross the threshold without a victory. And you think, all right, well, maybe Gen G went on to win the whole thing. VK Gaming said, no way. You may have found yourself on match point, but we're going to keep this thing rolling at least to a match 7. And they had a 17 kill game to do it. These teams weren't just scraping victories through. They were dominating in every aspect and absolutely wiping the floor with the rest of the lobby to find their victories. It was crazy to watch, even crazy to see the highlights of it. But in the end, it was JDG. Again, match 1 winners came back on match point to win it all here in match 7. And just like clockwork, they did it with 17 kills. It was not just a victory that was handed to them as they hid away in the corner. Instead, they were putting pressure on anyone that was in front of them. They were ensuring they took every single fight that may have benefited them, whether it be through loot, whether it be position, and in the end, they were rewarded by becoming the regional champions of APAC South. And of course, that means that they will be representing APAC South at the mid-season playoffs. And I tell you what, if they can find any sort of consistency in the way that they played in the regional finals, once we get to international competition, I am very excited to see what they can do on the biggest stage of all, because they looked so impressive. The teamwork was excellent. The way they were all ensuring they were targeting the same people at the same time and then switching those targets to the next. It was like they've been doing it for 10 years with how they've been playing. And it means that they will walk away as the champions after this victory that you're watching on your very screen. They were delighted with it, as I'm sure were a lot of fans around APAC South, and they will be the front runners for this region. And we can take a look at how those results looked in the overalls, because very different to what we had in EMEA, with it only going 8 games, but these were the 6 squads that were able to pull it through in the end. JD, VK, Rival, Gen G, Edward Gaming, and Wolves here, Rain Day, which, you know, alongside the teams that then qualified for mid-season playoffs, it was just a pleasure to watch.
You know, and it was interesting too, because no matter how well you play, you get to that level of game 7-8, you're not going to have Ash available. I don't know how that happened for YC. I mean, Johnner was popping off with that Pathfinder, no doubt about it. 2K damage, you know, 5 shots in the PK and a G7 Scout. I mean, that's trusting your aim right there. And Johnner certainly had the movement to go with it. But man, that is not going to look the same way at playoffs. That's going to be the most exciting part. What meta develops? Will we even see a little bit of a patch beforehand towards the end of June? Maybe change a few things, knock a few characters up or down. We'll have to wait and see. But all the excitement there from all the regions. Now, if you're excited as well to represent maybe not a region, but just Apex in general, you might not be competing, you can still show your love. And there's one special way to do it. We go to every event and we want exclusive things. Well, you want exclusive things? Check out what you can't have Nice Week. You can watch Nice Week, but you can't have them. But you can have what he's wearing or holding or keeping himself warm. Apex with the Hype Land collab. One of the coolest things that we've done, a limited edition collaboration. When these things sell out, they are done. So get fit with Outlands, with the Apex Legends Hypeland collab. Make sure to go to hypeland.com. You can see the hoodies, you can see the bags. You know, I think that bag is just like, if you end up going into, you know, for me, there's a couple of fast food restaurants. If I find, I'm just going to throw that's going to be my order. They're going to need that in order to fulfill what I've got. Dan already has the Hypeland right there. You could think he might be disappearing with the Mirage, but no, he's just wearing that cool shirt. Make sure to get yours, hypeland.com. And while Dan and I go shopping for some more Hypeland stuff, and hopefully you do too, let's send it over to Onset and bring back Vicky for our cast as we get into game 4.
Let's do it then. That collab looks fire, by the way. We saw them in New Orleans for the ALGS Open. And for those of you who don't have the 20 kill badge, well, maybe you can get a t-shirt and tell people that you do by having
Game
it on there.
3, I'm back. Game 4. Sorry. You got banned.
Let's go, because
I don't even know.
already 2 points away from sitting at match
Yeah,
point.
they are.
Better
speed
run this here and not try to take a book out of the EMEA region if you're
I think
NIP.
they were going to be
You
first to get to match point.
Feel like it's a long day, job well done here, but that's to say if they even get
Not
these
there
2
yet,
points, because I feel like even in EMEA, there were
they're
some
basically
teams that were
there.
struggling just to get those final 2 points and get the distance, because it can be difficult sometimes too. You want to get those 2 KP or even placement
I remember
points,
it got-
but you put yourself in a really risky
Oh, no,
situation. But at least on
I do.
E-District,
So
I
game
feel
1
like, I mean,
was...
in that last game alone, Onset, we had what, like
Also,
16
game 2 was
teams in round
Ash.
4.
Game
It was
3
insane
was...
how E-District allows a lot of these teams to coexist in the end zone.
I don't know.
I want to give a bit of a shout out to Kurev as well, who I think
Wasn't Watson, wasn't Sparrow, wasn't Wraith, wasn't Ballistic, wasn't Path, maybe Crypto?
That weren't his
Wasn't
choice,
Crypto.
Right? When initially
Maybe
Yanya
Newcastle?
left Team
Must have been
Liquid, he
Newcastle, because there's
was
no
picked up.
Newcastles.
They won BLGS.
It would have
was
been
an amazing
Newcastle.
performance.
Yeah, it was top right,
I
sorry.
think he's presented himself very well. He didn't
Till
let
all
anyone
top right,
down, and then
Energy at
when
Lotus,
Yanya-
100
when-
Ds,
sorry, Yanya became
Mines,
available
Energy
again,
Bank,
it gets picked
Sentinel
back up,
City, all
and
good draft
he
point,
finds himself having to find a
Illinois
team.
rotate
Now he's
in,
on this
Furia
team,
bottom
this
right,
NIP team,
NFP
and it
bottom
feels like
left,
everything is just working, and I think
OG
a lot of
bottom
the players
right,
on this
Humid
team have very
Labs.
similar stories where they've had to shift around.
Unbeat Labs, sorry.
The nice guys that maybe
Shopify,
don't, you know, get vocal
on the
about
East,
decisions
all
being
gamers
made.
on the East.
But now they are finding success, and it's sometimes
It's
the
Falcons.
personalities match on a team, and that's why that success starts to come. And I feel like that
Top left.
is really is the case here with NIP.
Yeah, that's why we see a lot of roster swaps in general throughout the course of the competitive Apex esports season too. So being able to at least stick together and figure out what you have to work on as a team.
Eurokoi, Sentinels, Versbro, Twister Mind,
City. It's always nice to see while we take a look at where the zone is pulling over by draft point. Onset, you know, Grace will be very happy. This is one of his favorite POIs, but it's also a great POI to rotate from in general. So being able to have that POI advantage, being able to get that information just as quickly is going to be important, because I also feel like there's a lot of space to coexist on this POI specifically.
Energy will take that time moving in, probably.
If it continuously shifts over to the south side, there's little to no cover when you're stuck on that riverside.
Loader killing Nox, Karev getting books. They're about to get their 2 RP right now.
And it becomes this weird peak battle between teams, and I feel more often than not, if you're there too early and you don't have Watson, for example, to hold down
match
the space
point.
and command the space, show that presence, as we see NIP just continue. By the way, match point for NIP. First team to hit match point. They cross 50. They get the job done. Back
It's crazy, not the team I predicted, not even close.
There's too many teams that can try and get there too early, and it becomes this weird battle where one knock goes down, and with the amount of angles that are available from teams who arrive, you end up having to play as a duo and then leave and come back again. It becomes even more difficult when you're trying to get that res. So it's a tough spot to hold down, but towards the end game, certainly very powerful.
Right, they got 27 points in game 1.
It's crazy, by the way, to
They're
look
28.
at how Gap
That's crazy.
has put the rest of this
Got
lobby,
1 point the next
despite the high KP count for a lot of our game-winning teams thus far. Literally sitting at 50 points, where I believe the closest
Panic
team
about
to
to die.
TSM with 38
Oh,
points.
TSM get
and now,
rolled.
right now, they're literally
Oh, they
getting
got
mowed down by the
absolutely
Devo, and they
rolled
get
by LG
eliminated
in 100
at
Thieves.
the hands of LG, and even some help from 100 Thieves who were earlier
100 Thieves basically
able
killed
to
all
take
of them.
control and get
LG
those
got 1.
knocks.
Yeah, that was one of those situations where it's like, I don't want to look, but I'm watching, because it was that kind of like awkward. It was just a complete decimation there as they ran through them at LG. 100 Thieves are going to be in a pretty good spot for this next zone as well. They're playing down on the southern side of...
They need a good game,
kind of
200
away
T.
from draft point a little bit here. Well, where that zone is going to be, you can see there, 100 Thieves, excuse me, they're playing more to the eastern side of it, but they should be in a good spot to not
Sentinels
get involved in a lot
fighting
of
Fusion
the
here.
big fights that go down, but be able to rotate in and have a vantage point to see where
Fusion
third-party
just dying.
opportunities present themselves. Kim Chi left on his own now. As it'll be MCoy here moving in on this building as long
MCoy's third
as well
partying
as
though.
Sentinels. And I'll take Kim
Fusion
going
just
back in
dead.
Kimchi had an idea. I don't know what if it was the right one or not, but I like the fact that he had an idea and committed to it.
He's
dead
thought,
now.
Being one person from Sentinels, at least trying to clutch out that win after seeing that there was knocks, that he could try to take that away, but there was also so many other teams in the vicinity. Sometimes the panic button is right there, and with Furia
in last place. Actually, it shocked me. I didn't think they'd get last place.
Yeah, Kimchi, the
I just said
guy,
Fusion.
something kicks off, you know he's wherever he is. If he's your friend, he's gonna jump in there. That was a great example of it. Furia do end up cleaning up the final pieces of Sentinels, though, and will now control this building for themselves.
Ballistic will probably get banned now if it follows the Squid
definition
Games.
of the,
Jesus Christ, if it follows the Scrim
of the word so far today.
games,
Only
which is
5
the
points
practice
on the board
games.
in 3 games.
Will be
Very
Ballistic next.
un-Furia-like from them.
Yeah, I really want to listen to the comms and figure out what has changed from Furia specifically, because it's kind of just been on a downward spiral where they don't seem like they've been able to find their footing. Either their comms are messy here, maybe some sort of uneasiness, or not even
Watching
trusting the
ALGS
comms
for
sometimes
hours,
on
man.
making some of these rotates or decisions.
SR still up the top, same as Falcons.
At the other teams that are making their rotate in, Falcons with an evac tower all the way from Lotus, passing that of Shopify,
Falcons
Energy over by Energy
five
Bank. A lot of these
purples.
teams, though, with the crypto drones, will just be able to get that survey beacon ring console before they take their time to rotate into that next zone.
Yeah, tough zone so far on E-District with the 2
Timmy,
games
just
back
rat hell
for
again.
Northern
See what
landing
happens.
Teams, which is, you know, the teams that seem to have prioritized some of the POIs. You got
See, someone from
Falcons who
100 T's
would've
expanding
put a lot of
out
stock
pretty
into
far.
Lotus. Shopify Rebellion landed on the northern side as well. Would have put some stock into their POI.
Did
So
the evac tower back or
frustrating
tele?
when
I
you
think they
are in the
teleported
POI
out and
draft and you
teleported
put your
back.
stock into a certain map and then the zones pull away.
Okay.
We're not going to be able to make the
Zones
most of this.
right.
However, everybody is
Interesting
able to
zone.
adapt. Shopify have had a pretty rough zone so far. If you think about the
Yeah, they have. Same as NRG
the first one we had,
and
the Down
Falcons.
Beast one, that was pretty tough for them to get to. Map number 2, not the easiest as well, and then
Second place TSM out earlier.
It's been tough so far for Shopify
crazy.
Rebellion when it comes to these rotates. They've
They got
just
absolutely
trying to make
wiped.
the best of it so far.
NRG's evacing close to all
How do
gamers
they
here.
do with what you have here when it comes to some of these rotates currently?
They're about to fight all gamers in
Shopify?
NRG here.
Sitting in 18th.
Shopify
in the
my
overall
third party
series thus
too.
far within this regional finals. Looking at the teams, look at all the Sparrow tracker darts there too. You were actually highlighting this in the last game, and that's a very good point to make too, right? Making sure you could rotate, try to cover your back.
Twisted Minds always seems to be right in the middle of zone, like
that Sparrow
very
provides.
early.
And it's the lovely bridge, your favorite part to hang out here in Draft Point, right? All the crates, you got the different open crates over to your side, and then having to play up this low ground. I am not a big fan of this. Yes, there's even that small crevice, but there's so many different angles once you get out of this specific corner that you currently see Lewin, that you could get shot on from afar, from the high ground, by that tunnel side that you saw behind Lou there. It can be difficult once a lot more of these teams feel more brave to congregate in the center part of Draft Point.
You can see
Love
with the
a good
zone
bridge,
pulls.
mate, Vicky. Love a good bridge. Actually, when
All
that
gamers
really
moving
goes
up
weird
on
rabbit
Vision.
holes occasionally of, like, you're on
That
YouTube
Vision?
at 4 AM or whatever it is.
Fusion. I don't know.
was
It's like the
watching
one
bridge
team I don't
construction
know.
videos. Fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating. I suggest anybody go to check it out.
Villainous,
Anyway,
sorry.
Gamers,
It's obviously
28 points on the board.
villainous.
It has been a phenomenal start for them so far.
VLN.
Regional finals.
Villainous.
Did not
Dickhead.
take note of that bridge construction. At least they did for that POI specifically.
Oh, I'm talking about construction. They're looking to.
All gamers really wanting this position right now.
Oh, I thought that was going to
Pick
be a right
both
juice
sides
there,
here.
but Skittle Cakes is
Good
gonna be
ult
trying
from
to find an
Skittle.
angle. And I see the Stinger Ball go down and actually clear the space for them to jump up.
I believe 15 Sparrows, by the way, or 12, sorry, in this lobby, as well as Ballistic, while dropped. Take a different
Jesus
angle
Christ,
with the
he
fuse,
launched that
activates the
ult
Mother
far.
here too, after the Tempest was already called in for all gamers, but they're getting shot.
Did
by
not
what looks
launch
to be
that
a
where he
third
wanted to
party, while
launch
Skittle
that.
Cakes, he jumps and
They're
dances
gonna back
around
out
into
now.
the zone just so that way they can
Did
take a
not
much
go the way
longer,
they
wide
wanted that to go.
rotation, because they have circle information.
They got a
Thanks to
nice
Sparrow
spot here they
getting
could
that
settle.
remote
Never
beacon,
mind. There's a
camp.
squad there. They're gonna have to settle in zone. I forget the word.
Well, there is a team above them, and that's a
The
problem.
word
because they are
for
having to take a lot of
finding
zone
a spot,
damages. That's gonna have to pop
settling
them. They
down,
times it
healing
perfectly,
up.
as you would expect.
Reset. Reset's rezzing.
And it's going to be VLN.
I don't know if they use the same word. I swear there's a different word.
To them. So AG are going to have to go
Forget
a
it.
bit deeper into zone for their rotation here. They should be pretty safe to do so, but obviously the meds starts to become a situation you have to
Devo
be
Scout
aware of.
R9 is dirty combination.
That does also have an evac tower, so even though they look like they're running away, it looks like a little bit of a double bluff because some fights are
Crease
starting to break
change.
out, and maybe there's an opportunity for them to move back into this position.
Please,
Third party
thank
this
you.
now.
Guys, gets a kill on Villainous. T lost, yeah, so dead. We missed that whole fight because I was just watching that team in zone.
Up on the high ground, looking like it was Villainous that were here, being destroyed here at their hands too inside the building. So they were able to claim that building. They're looking at the third party that maybe wanted to get a chance here by that same choke. Actually, it was all gamers who were looking
You're gonna
to
hold that
rotate
choke
in this
point. The other
specific
team's gonna have to go
direction.
the other way.
Late after
Unless they want to
hearing
take the
that
fight.
they can't commit maybe to that choke here because Liquid Alienware can now divert their attention to all gamers.
And it was that
To all gamers out there. T-Law gets a knock.
Now they get the knock as well as Zapto, who gets knocked.
It's a team that
so they have
in
the
zone.
opportunity now to either hold them out or look to push this.
Fuck, they're low.
There's a Sky Knight coming in from Neazor. He wants some more. He gets the re-knock as well.
All
He
of
actually
his
gets the
bats
finish,
now.
excuse me, onto Zap. So that's
Koifel gets a knock on all gamers
AG
dropped.
down to 2 now. Well, Liquid Alienware not only winning that fight, but also
AG's
holding
been
off the
getting
third party.
ganked from all sides. It's so unfortunate for them. They got attacked from everywhere.
Drop is gonna be the last one out here, and all gamers get eliminated.
All gamers got 27 points game 1 and then went 2 points in the next 3 games.
So looking at the position of Shopify Rebellion
That is
now,
unfortunate.
they probably have to head back to the north. Liquid Alienware was still holding down that choke. It's NRG who have the drone up, who will know that Shopify are coming. We do see the opportunity for NRG versus Shopify probably breaking out as this zone will close.
NRG needs another good game here. So does Shopify though.
Quite low profile at the moment. The Falcons are trying to rotate in alongside them.
Hope NIP wins next game. Go to bed. T-Law in a good spot there for the zone pool. Dungeon Thieves, Team Awkward, CTE. SR's rotating around behind NRG right now. They're about to fight.
Even if it's on the same POI, love this side-by-side though. Looking at where this zone pool is gonna be, Falcons already getting ahead
on the kill feed.
Rotated out here.
NRG, yeah, Sykes was solo at the back. He just got ganked by Designer.
Because LG can equally just cut them off while Shopify are looking to reset with these shield
But
bats.
Timmy's crypto ult. Guild goes down. Timmy's got to run. How did they not see them coming from behind?
Do what they can because the retaliation is now coming from Guild. He gets the knock himself. Sykes will be
That's
finished off
another
by Designer.
time NRG have been not watching their backs. Or at least they have been, but one guy, and he's just not been able to hold it. They're not holding the space well today.
And Timmy has now got to survive.
It isn't like NRG. They might go from like first place overall to like 6th way they're playing.
NRG with Timmy being that last straggler, being on that crypto though, that's what you want to see.
He is on
You have
crypto.
one solo left from your squad, so let's see.
He's gonna get banners now. You can see the drone.
With that crypto drone, you can see it flying north side of Shopify. Shopify 2 also trying to get information. Look at the amount of crypto drones that are just scouting about. One exiting out of Furia, one around
Maybe crypto
CTE,
gets banned next.
another by Team Orchid. The skies look pretty congested right now, but with Timmy now navigating away from Shopify could absolutely be done. But where do you go?
You have a Moby?
Do you have the Moby yourself is the question. You can't res your teammates in the middle of where VP is, and that mythic pin uncontested at the moment. No team looking like they're
Yeah,
close
he
by
got
to
a
even
Moby.
give up any sort
Guild
of high ground
Sykes
space
back
to be able
up.
to
Let's
close to that.
go.
Yeah, I love that map overhead. You saw how if you want to commit
Crypto
a crime,
clutch.
you're going to get away with it here on E District. There's tracker darts everywhere. There's drones flying everywhere. There is going to be video evidence of
Falcons
you
is
doing
putting together some
something.
solid performances though.
If you
They just
get a
haven't
little bit,
dominated a game yet.
Frisky and feel like doing something untoward. Falcons now down on
Could
this
be
low
their
ground
game,
inside
but
one of
they're
these
on low
buildings.
ground.
Will be safe inside of where this next zone is going. So Falcons done a great job once again, thinking from dropping all the way over the northern side of the map to navigate their way all the way down to the
Crypto ult's
southern
going
side
off.
now into a safe position. VP still down on that low ground as well, underneath the bridge.
I want to see that
But they
fight
have
over
to
the
rotate
building.
away as
I've
the
seen like
place they were
4
playing
crypto ults
wasn't
go
safe
off.
for any
Daxalon
longer.
got to kill and crawl.
And inside of this building is Rock and Vaxalon,
RSC
who
against
put
CTE.
on quite the show last time that we were on his POV. Who gets that first knock, but Crawlbuckle was going to be able to get back to his feet.
He's a horrible Wraith portal. Went like 2
Literally what's
meters.
up, though. Being on that catalyst, just trying to secure.
But his
his
pro
position in the second
dead.
half, fighting right underneath them. VP, right at their feet. Rock comes
Deeds
in,
is 1
takes out
HP.
VP. It has just not been a
CTE
good day
should have
for
third partied that.
VP.
They're too late
We're
now,
talking
though.
about they still need to be able to perform.
They're way too late
here.
to third party now.
VP in some trouble.
Furia's got high ground on
sitting
flat.
top of that bridge.
That's looking to
Flat.
energize
Now
zip line
specifically,
across.
Looks like maybe they were able to get that Mythic Bin, but the Kraber in hand. Nano misses that first
Oh,
shot.
Phony gets the
But
knock
they
on
also
Xano.
have that gold R9.
Yeah, did hit that Mythic Bin. You can see it just the right-hand side of Nano here. Furia up on that high ground on the bridge. And Nano is going to lead the way.
Big Louie's getting
I'm
ganked.
not sure what the plan is after this. They will have to cover from above.
NIP dying.
Inside of this
They're already on
crate,
match
Big
point,
Louie's,
so they should
in a
die.
little bit of a problem here.
Koi's
also
just
in
dead.
problems. Brinks is going to be last alive for them on the Sparrow. Sends out the bolt, and the ultimate will at least buy him a little bit of time, but Madness
Yeah,
snaps
oh.
back around, and one problem for him was...
Yeah, he's dead. NIP got him. Got the solo of Karev.
I've never seen someone turn around
He's walking around the corner to Falcons, so he's
after
just
hearing
dead.
the zipline prompt. Karev still alive. NIP, if they hit match point this game already, but they're gonna have to win another game aside.
Oh, I thought he actually landed up there. Oh, Karev knocked Howl though. But yeah, he's dead.
We'll be going here as Karev
Falcon's
goes
dead.
down here.
How the hell
They
did
get
that happen? They
eliminated.
got grenaded.
NIP have some room to breathe, considering that the rest of this lobby still has
SR apparently found a good spot. Where the fuck is
Do
NRG?
note this too. That's why they want to get even more points.
Are they
on
dead
the
to
board,
zone?
soak up more of that KP away from other squads that may need it more. NRG too, after getting the reset from Timmy. Always these clutch respawn moments. For
Why are you swapping? Watch that. They dropped on SR. They killed him. But the grenades. 100 Thieves, go away.
Still alive though. Still full shields on the Crypto. Verhouse is gonna poke.
Yeah, not much they could do about that. They had to make that play. They needed another team nearby to shoot cover on 100T, but there just wasn't.
So unfortunate.
Yeah, there wasn't much they could do there.
With the grenade cleared up so
Was not much they could do.
Space, literally gassing them all out from that building. Very unfortunate having to play.
They had to make that play. They're in a very bad spot. The reason why they're in that bad spot is because they got wiped earlier, which stuffed their rotation in. But it was SR that wiped them, and they just dropped on SR, so maybe it would have been SR dropping on 100D. Sorry, on NRG. So you never know.
And you won't even be able to take that zipline for free. Good luck with that in a lobby like this.
100 Thieves trying to make their rotate at the moment. Looks like a portal's gone down from 100 Thieves.
Being
Rock
gets
trying to
knocked.
take a building. The problem is that Orchid have that one locked down with the Watson fences. Now you're seeing Rock on the back foot trying to play around these knockdown shield sorcerers.
Backs NR and Deeds go down. The Sorcerer. I said he's not consistent before the game started. Can he do something here?
Rock and hard place. Rock being grenades. Hard place being Twisted Minds inside that building.
Deeds gets finished. Twisted Minds. I swear they've been in every end game and they're still in 16th place. They haven't got any kills and they've just come like 5th to 6th every game. Knocked out. Big Louie. Or flat.
Twisted Minds having to keep their heads on swivels here. It's left, right, up, down, wherever
He's
you
dead,
can
but
find an
finished.
angle to put some damage out from this building. They are finding those angles. Orchid above
They are
them at the
all
moment.
at this
Now
building.
escaping. Albalele just poked a little bit too long though.
Damn, that's their best player
And it's
gone.
cost him his life as Flat will fly
Yeah, they're
in.
dead now.
And Qzia gets not only the knock but the finish on
Al
top as well.
is their gun player.
Because Al actually originally got the Arcstar knock. He wanted to expand on that, and now losing out with Twisted Minds. Hopefully,
Enemy on
he might get
Watson.
the res that we even saw from Rock, because Rock also was able to get that respawn in the distance. But shooting
Oh,
that
RSC's
above, you
getting
can see those
pumped.
30 shots in trouble. That's 100 Thieves and even Liquid Alien, where we have no idea where we're going to be dancing around these.
Yeah, they're dead. Nice knock from enemy though.
He could sneak through there. He breathed in as he tried to get through the doorway, but unfortunately something got caught on that portal. He went up and said hello.
There's a few
came back
duos
and said
here.
goodbye as he gets taken down, and now Vaxelon
Fury is even going down. They're back to a duo. Maybe they can try and get a reset here. They could get a reset here. RSC's down. How are Twisted Minds still alive? T-Law's gonna win. Oh, 100 Thieves, sorry. T-Law 100 Thieves, they're just chilling in that other building. Watching the massacre go down.
Well, don't count me in this, because 100 Thieves and Liquid Alien, where they both have the height advantage, positional advantage on top of that, in a zone like this, with Nizul being on that Sparrow, trying to get more information with these recon arrows.
Only if someone had a Kraber right now.
This ult down at just the right time. Everyone who's below him is going to get ticked by it unless everybody commits to destroying it, and that looks like it has been the play. The Cavalry goes down. Niazul doing a lot of damage.
It's a good trade. It's Niazul. Niazul against Phony. Phony wins it. T-Law dead. Twisted Minds dead. Fury will rush Phony. Phony's going to be dead. These down. Flat down. Fury's going to win. It's Fury against a duo of Orchid. Oh, Orchid, you're so dead. It's a trio, but they're so dead.
starting position was. And now they take prime position. They go in for the third party. And now they drop on top of a very weakened and bloated Team Orchid.
Good win for Furia. They needed that. They needed that.
Furia will be your champions. It is a good return to form. Extremely well timed for them.
They definitely needed that. It's a good win for Furia. Only one on match point, so we still have a few more games to go here. I pray we don't.
We were talking about Furia. We were asking where they at. They heard us and they performed because they needed to. Looking a little bit lost, but the comms right there to disengage on the chaos that was happening right alongside them to then time a third party with the 100 Thieves versus Team Liquid Alienware fight up on high ground was the best decision they could have made.
Yeah, really, really good. And important sometimes just to keep a note of the kill feed. Even though you don't know who's dying, you can tell who's being knocked. You can tell that kills are being exchanged between two teams, which gives you that opportunity to go up with more members of a team, or quite simply just clean up a fight that's already pretty much taken place. Furia.
It's a good game for Furia. Same as Awkward, same as 100T. 100T needed that. They'll drop him. What about NRG? They got 3 kills, 5 points. Same as SSG. Same as Twisted Minds again.
Put them involved in quite a few fights, by the way, that they seem to be productive in, and that means the 9 KP for them alongside the 3 gives them 12.
And that was off of the respawn too, right? We saw them trying to respawn once or maybe twice here too. And looking on the other side, NIP, who now are match point eligible with 7
All games with 3 bad games in a row. That's crazy.
I think he's
After getting a huge win round 1.
The last few games, as we take a look at the heavy hitters from this game alone, see 5 KP in favor for Nox, Rambo with the 3 revives, Keon with the 5 assists, and then Daxlon with the 1.6k damage.
Well, this is how the series results are looking after the end of E District, and
they're well clear right now.
They're gonna hit 56. That's what really matters here. They will be
yet again. Oh, 100 Ds are in the top 10 now. 2 of my top 5 are in the top 10. NRG, Twisted Minds, 15th. I was so wrong about SR. I was so wrong about SR. Couldn't have been more wrong about SR. Geez, LG need to start putting on some performances, bro.
The performance that they put on today alone have secured them that first place spot.
NIP's in first. And I told you NIG could drop to like 6th. They're down to 5th now. They were first.
These teams in general trying to get that first place spot. They're also trying to get the prize pool for Pro League, that first place, securing yourself that 20 extra K aside from qualifying within the mid-season playoffs.
Well, as we say goodbye to E District, we're also going to jump into a break as we change the maps over. And hey,
another break.
Again, I've turned into a POI draft. Hopefully I can turn back after this break.
Just had a break, bro. I want to get this over and done with. Enjoying the games though. Obviously it's disappointing NRG are sucking. Bloody Timmy. Ballistic, yeah, I thought so. Saudi Arabia. Like July 10th to July 13th it is, okay? Just before Rugby League 26 comes out. We're live streaming that, and then I'll play some Rugby League 26. So keen. July 10th, okay. I thought it was like July 16th, but no, it's July 10th. I can't believe how badly Shopify is doing though. Like NRG is obviously 12th, not doing as good as I hoped, same as 100 Thieves, but Shopify, they've been horrid. Really surprised me. Alta Band, Ash Band, Newcastle Band, Ballistic Band. Pretty much how the games have been going for NA scrims. Which means she would be next. Next band.
Sony in Zone, the official monitor of the Apex Legends Global Series.
Or Wraith or Newcastle. Or was Newcastle already banned? I don't think so. It was Ash, Alta,
Welcome back again, everybody. Welcome back, Dan.
Ballistic.
As well.
It was the fourth.
Missed you, buddy. Good to have you back.
Maybe the fourth was Newcastle. I think it was.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, I think it was. So
who's going to be feeling particularly cute right now is going to
thinking
be
Wraith,
as they
maybe
match
Crypto.
point. That was a weird transition, but it works. Anyway, it is a bit weird, but they are on match point right now. They have
Be
crossed
banned
50
next.
points, so if they are to close out this next game with a win, they will be your regional finals champions. But of course, we will play a minimum of 6 games today, just as a reminder to everybody who wants to see some Apex and as much Apex as possible. And of course, we also know that usually if you hit match point first, very rare we see those teams close out the next game. These are some of the highlights from this final circle though, Dan, and it's good for Furia that they
No matter what, we play 6
down
games.
from the low ground, zipped up, cleaned up this damage, and then they had all of the height and the priority they could want.
I like how everyone was just in agreement to shoot the Sparrow ultimate at the same time as well. Like everyone was just like, let's just get rid of it right now. But yeah, a great
Yeah, it was a great third party from Furia.
Back-to-back E-District, I think it really does provide us with a lot of entertainment just before we then switch over back to Broken Moon, where I still feel like, even though E-District is newer, Broken Moon still feels like the unknown, because like Broken Moon just hasn't been played as much in competitive. So I think that this is going to be a tough one going into match 5, especially for NIP. But you mentioned it, not usually we don't see the first team on match point go into and winning the whole thing in match 5. But with how EMEA went, will NIP even get there at all? That's the real question.
Yeah, that's a good point, you know. Maybe NIP will change the story. Maybe they close it out in 5, and maybe we play a match 6 to find out what the final standings are going to be for qualification. Who knows? Broken Moon is where we're going to find ourselves, though, and we're going to see Ballistic go bye-bye. He is out. He is banned. He is not allowed onto Broken Moon.
Yeah, surprising early ban compared to EMEA, but again,
Really?
I think that
Oh yeah, compared to me,
region certainly sees the
yeah.
benefit of
That's what
Ballistic
NA's
a
been
little
doing.
bit
NA's
more
been
than
banning
EMEA at
Ballistic.
times, but yeah, very
Who gets
excited
banned
going
next?
into this
I'm
one
thinking.
because I think we're gonna get a lot
I'm thinking
more
Cat.
aggression
It's gonna be
coming out
Cat.
of some teams,
Cat gets
because
banned next.
this is what happens
Cat or
when
Wraith.
one team gets onto match point, everyone else has that moment. We need to start to pick it up here, otherwise this whole thing could fall apart. Yes, you will.
Cat,
still
Wraith,
have
or
match
Crypto,
6
but I'm
as
gonna
a
say
fallback,
Cat.
even if it ends here, but it could only be 2 more matches. You're not guaranteed another 5 like the lucky lads over in EMEA were able to get. You have to pick things up now.
Just a shout out to NIP as well, and a shout out to production to give us some stats in the back. Highest damage dealers in the lobby, but also highest damage taken, but it's a plus 3.1k damage difference. So all in the positives when it comes. They are extremely active on the map with their weaponry at the moment. NIP really are putting on a little bit of a show in those first games.
So NIP win, we go 1 more game.
An exciting
and then
show
done.
for sure, but can it now move them into a victory to take the whole EMEA regional finals? Broken Moon has been very kind to Team Falcons throughout, and Shopify Rebellion. I think I mentioned this a little bit earlier. So both of those teams should be looking up to pick points here. And
I don't regret watching EMEA. It was probably some of the best sets of games I've seen. It just made me so tired. I have no energy for NA, but I don't regret it. It was so good.
Which is something you don't see too often, but
Wish it was like EMEA, then the other 2, then NA, so I can sleep in between.
Much more difficult to track teams now as well with legend bans. Like previously, teams would know what composition you're playing, what skins you're playing, unless you were changing them game to game when you were on match point. But now it's like, oh, what are this team playing? We don't even know what composition they're going to be playing, so we don't actually have full faith. This is
VP's up top, Twisted Minds, then LG, then T-Law, using Toy, NRG, Water Zone, same as all games, TSM, and NIP. All good 100 Ds flat, and CT are in double zone. Shopify's bottom right. Villainous on the east. RIC, Falcons, VP, Sentinels top right. Twisted Minds. I think I might have already said that. They're up the top. Up north.
A little bit dry. Dropping over at Armor Station down on the southern side. So
Zone's going solar pods way.
2 survey beacons?
They have 2 survey beacons and a
Might
ring
pull
console.
up though.
2 survey beacons, an Evo, and a ring console.
Yeah, and that means that they'll get to blue nice and early, allow them to hit the ring console with fuse.
NRG, what are they going to do? Every game so far, they've been rotating very late, but now that Zone's on them, they kind of can't do that, so they must rotate early.
Into the position to potentially
See
win
what
the
they
game.
do.
Of course, you have to actually get there first and then win the engagements that follow afterwards. As for TSM, a slightly different game. They have to try and find 12 points, and they've already found 3 players right in front of them. It's going to be AG.
We got a rat.
Panic trying to be a little bit sneaky here. Portal's going to go down though, and the Wraith will be able to maybe score.
Teammate kind of ruined that rat play, can't lie.
TSM now realise that, and they're going to continue on their merry little way downtown. All gamers did manage to overtake them indeed. All three players have got past. Villainous are approaching Terraformer at the moment, but not really anywhere near TSM's position, who are heading towards Hazmat by the looks of things, and through Quarantine Zone. So NRG, they're going to take a little bit more of a more direct route. They are going to the skies, using that evac to just about get over the tower, but there's a race going on, maybe for a very similar spot, and January recognizes that they are not winning that one, so it turns around very, very quickly.
As I said, NRG have rotated very early this time, rather than rotating late.
The most comfortable of landings for NRG. They're going to have to fight for their position or reposition. And looks
That's
like
a good shot from
might
Guild.
have to fight, just judging by the bullets that are coming
Guild's a
from
good
elsewhere.
fryer.
Going to try and lock down this part
Need
of the
a
building.
big game
They do
here
have
from
the
NRG.
Watson to work with here, so at least they've got that, but
Sykes
Sykes
goes
is taking so much
down.
damage.
100 Ds have
with a
rolled
Stinger
them.
Bolt.
They're dead.
Gets two. You're trying to port the bodies out, trying to get his teammates back into position, but unfortunately, Sykes is going to be one of those players who isn't even going to get to take the portal
They just
because
got
he's been
rolled.
finished. Can Timmy get through the port? That's the question. But what a stinger bolt that was from Verhulst.
Oh, what's going on NRG? But NIP dying wing already.
Put it in the right area and they can't get rid of it. As NIP now a match point
Timmy
team,
full
they
dead,
are
NRG
under a
fully
lot
dead.
of trouble, and a
They
lot
are.
of struggles here, but can
I don't
they
know
find
what's
their
going
way
on
back
with
into
NRG right now.
Oh, it looks like they will be able to. Cure have stayed alive in all of this. McLovin. Oh my word. He's sending it.
They've clutched up. Lowen clutched up.
RIP as NIP come out of that fight with a victory.
Love that. That was full on dumped on. Let's be
Good
completely
clutch
honest.
from
Let's call a
McLovin.
spade a spade.
400
That's
damage
what
in one
Devotion
fight
can
in a
do
3v3.
The best of hands. Sometimes even the worst of hands.
Respawning Vayne in already.
NIP, now they have to try and get Vayne back up, which they have the Moby for. They'll get him back on his feet.
All gamers are pushing in now.
And NIP still live to fight another game here.
And NRG is already dead. Yay.
They took the fight in that position because they wanted the building. And they win the fight.
It's so great.
Really, really good spot inside of zone.
LG in last. They need to start playing well.
And says, hey, I remember.
Otherwise, they are not going
a few
loud.
moments ago. Thank you, boys.
16 teams make it, and
What
they're
a
in
loot
20.
treasure that do I get from the other teams? But you're right, that could be a game-winning fight. When we look back, if NIP win this game, it'll be majority of it will be down to that fight. It'll be forgotten because it's so early, but without it, they never would have had this position. So a big, important decision to be made, and I love that they're taking a little bit of a risk by going for that fight. I think some teams in this position may have just tried to skip that team, got away from that team, backed off, and looked to try and get help from a third party of some sort, but they were aggressive. I love it. Good from them.
The Falcons coming in from the north side of the zone.
It's like that none of my top 5 are in the top 5. It's generally like the first time ever I've done a top 5 prediction, and not one has been in the top 5. Obviously, the set's not over. Falcons are one off, but very horrible day for me when it comes to calling a top 5. Very horrible day for predictions, I should say.
Building is completely free at the moment, which is going to give them an indication that a lot of
I got
other teams
EMEA
are
right,
going
though.
somewhere else. But they will be safe
Until
now.
like the last
Over
3
to,
games
EG
when
then,
4 of
who
my teams
started
dropped
off
out of the top
today
5.
very
3 of them.
fast with a win in that
But I got
game
the
one.
winner.
But since then, Dan,
Actually,
it's
no, I
been a little
didn't.
more
I
quiet.
forgot.
Yeah, a little bit.
They had the most
And
points,
they
but
still find
technically
themselves on
they
28
didn't
points,
win.
and,
Technically go next
apart
one.
from NIP, they're not that far behind. the
Technically, I
rest
got
of the
like
lobby.
2 out of the top 5, I think.
However, I think they'll be a bit frustrated. They
I don't
haven't
think who got in the
capitalised
top
from
5
that
in
impressive
EMEA.
start. And I think that was,
It was like,
again, the point I was trying to make is you can have one incredible game, but unless
I
you
want to
follow
go
it up with
check.
consistency,
I'm gonna go
it will
check.
be very
I want to know
quickly
how my
forgotten
prediction
because
was
there are
in
too many
EMEA.
good teams
Because it was
in this
bad. That
lobby
means I've had 2
to
horrible
help the
predictions
audience
today.
get it. Virtus Pro, 20 points. They also need to pick up the pace a little bit. They want to find themselves on
Can't
match
click
point
on the
before this
video,
thing
which is really
done and
annoying.
dusted. I'm going to start getting to that point where we start looking at those
Why I
mid-season
can't click
playoff
on it.
positions, Mark, as well, because if this thing does end here in match 5 or 6, or well, of course, by match
Oh, I
6,
can't manage that video
suddenly those
either.
people that are having to fight from behind, they're not going to have the time they maybe thought they would.
Falcons.
Yeah,
just
right.
in the kill feed
That's
find
weird.
themselves. I'm going to get Waltzy back to his feet here, as it was a member of Twisted Minds. I think it was Albrelli, if I wasn't mistaken, who managed
I
to
don't know
knock
what
him with
would
that
happen.
scout, but
What's
the
happened
scout
to that
usually
live
gives you
stream,
an indication
then?
of this from distance, and
Hope it's not
should be able to
glitched.
get him
It's
back
a
up.
3-hour
But they've
live
been
stream.
finished in the kill feed.
I can click on it in playlist at least.
The reason I love this position as well is because
go up to the end.
It's deep enough in zone where a lot of teams arriving are going to be in front of them, so they're not going to have to worry about their back so much. You can see that
the total.
It's kind of the opening where the sea, if you like, the water behind them is going to not allow any teams to rotate behind them. It's that deep pocket right in the back of the zone, and you can, even if it pulls.
Oh, I think Na'Vi got the top 5.
You can focus on.
Oh, it's gonna get messy, isn't it? You look at these zones. Some of the zones we've had today have been brutal, but also incredible to watch at the same time. And with the
Na'Vi, Na'Vi and GG. So I got 3.
We might see some teams
3 out of my
like
5.
Screw it.
Where
And
did
suddenly finding themselves in a really good position? Because if you time it correctly, you can just like.
4 out of the top 5. I had Go Next as well. I didn't have Go Next to win, but I had Go Next. I had Alliance to win, Na'Vi second.
This is the ROC play. That's
GG third.
Right now. It's gonna absolutely.
And then I think it was.
Guys, wait until we hear shooting. And then we
Go Next 4th, and I think Aurora 5th.
Well, VP, this is an interesting match for them because
so Aurora, I got 4 out of 5
in Pro League when they had a lot of zones, right?
4 out of 5. That's not bad.
They were drafting.
That's actually pretty good.
Quick priority to zones. Well, this one
very rare you get 5 out of 5. So 4 out of 5 is like
have to work for it. So I'm keeping my eyes on
somewhat the best what you could get.
And seeing if those worries are maybe have a little bit more truth to them. RSC, nice headshot coming in from Vaxalon.
I'll take 4 out of 5.
Advantage of the lack of helmets that are on the battlefield at the
currently
moment.
0 out of 5 in NA.
Skull piercer, by the way. No skull piercer on that thing.
It's not good.
Boom.
What were we saying about the 30-30 again? really good weapon.
Actually, I will say it's really fun to use. I will say that 100%.
It is. I mean, when these kind of like marksman style long-range weapons are in the meta and you start to get used to the dip and how to use them, you can absolutely destroy some teams, and it is very fun when they connect. A lot of dopamine, that has to be said. Not so much when you're on the receiving end, though. Has to be mentioned as well. You have to look at it from both sides.
Dopamine or tears, one of the two. It's a fine line.
Sometimes I cry with dopamine, so you know, it's just the best of both worlds.
Well, 100 Thieves putting some more pressure, and the Stinger Bolt again from Verholst, picking up the first knock, and it's going to be AG who they're putting under pressure at the moment. Twisted Minds putting pressure onto VP as well as ROC on our screens right now. Take the high ground away. And we'll be inside this new zone. Back to our match point team though. NIP. By the way, VP just got Zach Mazer finished off with an Arc Star, so they're down to 2. Still commanding a lot of space here. I love how they're so proactive as well. Oh, shots! It's going to be Zap from AG. He'll be taken down. AG in a little bit of a shambles at the moment. Getting shot by numerous teams.
By the way, as it stands, there's only 1 point between 4 teams in the final qualification spot for mid-season playoffs at the moment. Like, that's how tight it is. I'm not going to go too much into it yet because there's a lot that's going to change in these next couple of games, but just be ready for... You mentioned tiers. I think there's going to be teams that miss out on mid-season playoffs by just a point or 2.
Yeah, agreed. But still 16 teams go through from NA. 15.
They're good.
Trying to stay proactive here. This is what I love, right? You can see they've got a great spot in zone. They're not bunkering down. They are playing the space around the zone and using this as a fallback, this building, to try and pop shield cells, to get back healthy again. But they want to know who is around them.
100 Thieves now in 5th place. I didn't realize that.
Teams to keep the space between them and everybody arriving. It really is. I mean, again, NIP have got a real chance here. Genuinely have a real chance.
As long as they do keep staying proactive, like you say, if they keep just swinging out, making sure that the likes of ROC and TSM don't push up on them and get too easy a walk up. Like, if you apply that little bit of pressure and you force those teams into engagements, eventually, if you keep them that far out, the zone's going to help you enough that they should just be very easy and simple to take out of the game. Worth noting, Twisted Mind did pick up the Mythic bin that spawned up on the north as well. That could be a factor later on. Who knows what they got from it, but definitely some goodies available to them, and it might help them force their way into the zone. And, well, there is one of those goodies. It's a red helmet and a Kraber for one of the best players you could probably give it to.
All gamers are finally eliminated, by the way. Drops was the last player alive. We've seen them up and down, up and down. Well, finally they will be fully down. That'll take a little
I'm so tired.
He's going to have to find some...
Al doesn't know what he's doing right now.
Fusion are holding them out. And Twisted Minds need to...
Halo spot villainous. Oh, the Devo. Just sit down.
with the Devo. By the way, no turbocharger on this thing.
No turbo.
Keeping it old school.
No turbo, no problemo. Aguaros and the rest of the squad of Team Liquid Alienware will take out Villainous. By the way, Villainous, one of those teams that I mentioned within a point of getting towards qualification for mid-season playoffs. They might be dropping off a little bit after that early exit here in this match, but Sentinels look like they're just about going to get around that corner away from
Damn, VP got rolled.
VP on their journey. Zach Mesa trying to survive here. I don't know why I laughed. That was a bit mean, but I just remember VP was struggling earlier, and it's always tough when you go onto a screen and it's just one person left on their own trying to make or break it for their team.
As I would say when we play ranked,
He's so dead here.
Got this. Just immediately died to 12 people with Kravers. The Sentinels moving into the position that they
almost
want to
died
take
there.
away. But this
I'm
isn't
so
gonna be safe
tired.
in this next zone.
Bud takes out Twisted Minds. How also takes out enemy. Enemy full killed as well. Twisted Minds gone.
And they've actually managed to take them out. So Twisted Minds, a combination of them and movie stars.
Oh, Zach and Yonya going out. It's good camera.
Zach Mesa, Aura.
Zach's a solo.
Back through their own pool.
By the way, Twisted Minds going down means that that's a red helmet and a Kraber going elsewhere. So keep an eye on the kill feed because might be
Yawning like every 25 seconds.
Unless like Albrelli threw it off the map or something. Just really salty that someone else might get it. Sentinels now looking to see if they can maybe pick up the pieces here, but that will be portaled away.
And
no,
VP dead.
Zach Mesa will be taken down and VP eventually eliminated despite some heroic efforts.
Yeah, Sentinels didn't fall to the Aura trap like Team Liquid Alienware did a few moments ago. They realized it's a solo, they take him out, and now they turn their attention forward once more. They'll check in with NIP.
The zone's still looking pretty good.
Oh my god, NIP have zone.
They have
literally
everything.
Have zone. Look at
I hope they do it.
They have shields.
I'm so down to watch
They
one
have
more game.
Utility.
I hope NIP win it.
Oh, excels.
They have resources. They have ultimates.
So
and
ready for
they
bed.
have the composition.
And boy, are they handsome.
God, I just wish I was NIP.
I wish I was NIP.
I tell you what, I bet the organization. I bet the organization of NIP
I don't think they
right
do it,
now
though.
are chuckling themselves after transitioning from EMEA to the Americas and find themselves
Jeez.
with a team who are sat at #1 in the.
I don't know how many
right
more
now,
games
going
I could
into
even do.
playoffs. Potentially could be regional champs.
We'll ever get to a stage where I stop commenting and just let it play and
It's been a while since we've heard that one, but
just sleep.
it might be applicable. Nocturnal.
Oh, Zero goes down.
Haircut provided. The head still intact for the player trying to rotate in. And then use that port to retreat to his teammates. For now, has to pop that battery.
Nano goes down. Nano goes down. Panic getting a knock. Fury getting a knock. Panic now knocks empty. Fury gets another one. Panic gets another one. Only so many knocks, but no one's dead. Falcons are dead. Fury die. RC got a good angle. Sentinel's dead. TSM got a lot of KP there.
Yeah, things are going to start getting pretty ugly now around this zone. I think most teams have found somewhere to call home, but the next one, the next shift in, I mean, no one is in this next circle except a little bit of NIP who have their toes in, and of course they can walk in, but everyone else is not. And a lot of teams are stuck outside of Foundry, which means they are going to have to fight their way in or just look for KP here. And Fusion, they've already lost Kimchi. And they're on this northwest side, and the northwest side is arguably the ugliest of all of the places to be right now. Unless you can find a little hiding
Aguaros gets Shuby with a 30-30. Going for the finish too.
Honestly, than what they have
LG dead
LG
again.
We're down to 10 squads, half the lobby gone. NIP on match point, the only team on match point, still inside of the zone with.
Surely
NIP
NIP don't do it, right?
Liquid Alienware now climbing up to the height. They might have some angles and some fights that are breaking out again. The more fights that break out here, the better news it is for NIP. As long as they are nowhere near where ninjas in pajamas.
Big Louis dies for flat.
That means more
MCoy
teams
gets
will
him
take
with a
themselves
PK.
out and put them closer and closer to winning.
The biggest threat is going to be 100 Thieves, just looking at the map overhead, but it also depends what happens now with the zone closing. If everyone kind of panics and a team runs towards NIP and maybe knocks one of them, that could be enough to ruin their chances of winning this, because then 100 Thieves might capitalize, might push up.
I don't know where NIP is, so how can they do that? T-Lord dying. Aguaro's got caught by Koiful. Koiful goes down though to Yonya.
With the devotion. Takes down Koiful. That's not easy to do. Koi had a devotion of his own. Now the portal will go down as well. Jaguar has been brought back to his feet as well by Niazul. And Liquid are moving towards potentially the position that is held down by NIP.
Shopify dead again. I don't think they've done much still that game. ESM now rotating. They're trying to get match point. T-Lord down. RC down.
Into the top 7, and actually NIP
Flat
taking
down.
a look at TSM from behind, but they will portal back. NIP back to safety and will be in a position where they can play the entirety of the southeast right now. TSM under a little bit of
duplex.
trouble. Have to be careful. The Catwall is going to help a lot here. And the real question is, do the other teams even care about it? They're still pushing up.
NIP gets a knock on Panic. They take out TSM. Fusion lose 2.
We're into the top 5 and King G is just a solo.
I think it's really going to be down to 100 Thieves in NIP here. Team Orchid are still alive, Movistar as well, so don't count them out. But just by position, 100 Thieves still seem to be in a better spot. Movistar are taking portals at the moment to try and reposition as well. Team Orchid do have the red armor. That is worth noting. Luxford on the red could
Flat
make a
on a
difference here,
CT
but they're the
out
only
right
team
now.
on the
Virtus
north.
Pro might
Movistar
get
moving
knocked
into a
out.
position on 100 Thieves. This could be massive for NIP.
And look at the damage from NIP as well. They are just still outputting damage. It's on 100 Thieves. It's onto Movistar. Whoever moves has damage put onto them. But now with the zone closing, NIP finally have to show presence. And 100 Thieves have to pressurize them if we want to see some more.
NIP could win this. As Koi and 100 Thieves fight and NIP kill Orchid. Oh, Vane's getting clapped though.
Very often after a team gets on match point, Vane's taking a lot of damage here.
Yeah, they're getting clapped now.
McLovin's down though, and 100 Thieves are keeping it going. 100 Thieves are looking to deny NIP from that high ground. Phony and Verholz combining. Verholz getting the finishes on that damage.
Go up the crib.
But for how long? Gets that Barry pod.
Yeah, he's dead.
Poking out. We have more Apex. We will at least see other teams have the opportunity to jump onto match point here.
The real question is, anyone gonna join them? Orchid on 42 points. I believe there's still a chance they could get match point if they were to win this one and find kills. But they are in a rough spot at the moment. They are kind of being forced back and watched by Movistar and 100 Thieves, but now the zone's going to force them all together here. And you can see that red armor for Luxford could be very important, but Movistar have one as well.
Phony goes down to fun.
Team Orchid need the 8 points.
And Verholz gets fun back.
Sure
Orchid might win this.
In this game in particular, but Verholst is having a game, by the way. Finally, he will go down, but Orchid can create a little bit of
dead here.
Bird is down behind the knockdown.
Way down, now 100 Thieves down.
And Movistar are down as well, and surely this
Orchid
is
win
Orchid's
it.
game to win, and indeed it is. Did they get enough KP?
That means there's
alongside the
still
placement
only
that hit
one
match
team on
point?
match
We'll
point.
find out in a few moments' time. But I do feel like the big story from that game, Dan, is NIP had a chance to win it at the first roll of the dice.
Spoiler alert, they did, exactly.
Oh, wow,
50 points for Team Orchid. It was that one kill
Damn.
with the P2020s from distance. Just getting that one extra KP was massive for them. If they had not gone that extra KP on the team that went out in third, they would have finished on 49. Incredible from Team Orchid, and it now means that NIP have competition going into match 6.
They certainly do, indeed. So 2 teams now on match point. I thought they might be 1 short, but 50 points exactly. That's all you need to hit, and that's exactly what they do hit. So congratulations to Team Orchid for getting the job done there and managing to find the points and accumulate the points that they needed. 20 points is very, very impressive from them.
I mean, I just think got 8 in.
NIP, you look at the KP, it looked good. You look at the placement points.
NIP still scored well as well.
The problem for them was when they got to that point where it was like, oh, we've played this spot for so long, what do we do next? There really wasn't anywhere for them to play with cover, and they just didn't have the composition that was going to give them that false cover as well. So NIP had a chance, but they won't close out this time around.
And whilst they had a good composition for fighting and for repositioning, I think if it was a straight 3v3, good opportunity. But the fact there was 4 teams alive, it was very difficult to do. But NIP and Team Orchid will be on match point going into match 6. Now, this is the series results, but of course we have the overall standings for how teams are trying to qualify in Split 2 for the mid-season playoffs. And remember, there are so many spots up for grabs here. 16 is the key number we are looking at. Now, all the teams that are bronzed out, golded out, whatever it is, they have already qualified. TSM, they're looking to be pretty good on 110 points right now as it stands, but all the way down to currently Virtus Pro, who are that team that takes the last spot as it stands right now.
Yeah, 76 points, a little bit of a gap between them and Flat, but not too much of a gap that can't be closed in just one game. So VP going to be very, very nervous at the moment, and surely will want to hold on to one of those spots and be at the Esports World Cup for our mid-season playoffs. We'll have to see if they can continue to find those points that they require to keep in that spot, and if someone is going to close out in this next game. 2 match point teams find themselves with that opportunity. We'll find out if they can close out after this break.
Siphon perk here for Sparrow, and that also gives them complete knowledge. It's close enough that he scans all 3 of Remarkable Team. And I don't know, maybe I'd give him a slightly higher chance, but no. Genji will take him out. Final 3v3. Take it away, Dex.
Age is going to be playing up top. He got revenge on Akato Lago. Now he's just bringing the fight onto the head of young Black Ricky. Genji! And it's super nova. They try to play aggressive. Now to go down. Rival though in position. Fridge Keepers truly till the end. Kakoi now hurting here. Ron the only one still standing, still fighting. And Kakoi, they cannot handle.
Oh,
he goes down.
Messes up the mantle, so it's really up to the other 2 teams now. There we go, ADG down, and now we have the rival being BKG set up we all waited for.
Oh, but QQ, he's done it again. Knocks the first down, in and out, shield pop as well. Big damage here from BK Gaming. They're just looking so deadly in this game, and a flow now all alone. He's gone. BK Gaming.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ALGS Game 5 underway just a few moments ago and came to a close with NIP just a hair from finishing off this tournament. We will go again, and match point is still upon us for them and another team, Team Orchid, who have gotten 50 points and will be able to close it out here in 6. And if any of them win, that will lead to the end of the tournament, and the placements will be locked. Of course, I'm Rain Day, joined by Gaskin. We're going to give Onset and Vicky a little bit of a break here as we cast Game 6. But Dan, let's walk through that final circle yet again, because it was close. NIP looked like they had a lot of things going for them, but ultimately 100 Thieves, I think, was the biggest contributor in stopping them from closing this one out.
Yeah, I saw it on the map overhead when NIP were in a position that 100 Thieves were going to be the biggest threat, and obviously you can't see the elevation on the map overhead necessarily, and I didn't know whereabouts 100 T would end up, but the fact they were able to get that high ground was just the detriment to NIP. Now, 100 Thieves didn't go on to win the entire thing because sadly they kind of got forced into Movie Stars before they had a chance to really take on Orchid. But these kills, or the ones that Hambino gets here, that one with the P2020s was what sent them onto match point. Just that extra KP onto the third team was the difference maker. Otherwise, they would have been in a situation where they only got 49, I believe. So just those slight little things can be a huge difference, because now Orchid have the opportunity to win this entire thing. And before today, I believe they were just outside of those qualification spots, but now they have an amazing opportunity.
Yeah, this is huge for Orchid and their story as well. I mean, I mentioned it talking in Game 3, but the fact that Rambo is back and in action after taking such a long break, Hambino, who's bounced around several teams and has found this synergy right now with Team Orchid, who performed really well at the Open and kind of caught our eye as their introduction back into the ALGS. And now within this split, have been phenomenal, looking like a serious threat here. And what a story it would be if they can go back-to-back and find themselves a win to close it all out. Game number 6 coming at you here, and we are back on Storm Point. A welcome sight for a lot of these teams, as this is the map we started off on, and maybe the map we're going to finish.
And you saw there the bans. Wraith is the next one to get the big old X. And sadly means that that's another rotational character gone. So Alter disappeared. Wraith gone. And we have no Ash either. So we're going to start probably look towards more Pathfinder. And there you can see it on your screen already. Luxford switching over to the Pathfinder. And of course we move over to Stormpoint yet again here for match 6. Now, a team who has been quiet today is Team Falcons, and Stormpoint has been pretty good to them so far this season, so perhaps this could be the game that really just brings them back.
Who did they say got banned?
Hambino, Luxford, and Rambo. Team Orchid, mentioning them, you cannot...
Oh, how am I yawning again already? I go for a walk around so I could not fall asleep.
To this team, it's undeniable.
Energy down to 15th now, damn.
Obviously find his place within this meta, within this team, within this season and split. So many teams vying for that same opportunity, though. But
it's close to match point. 100 Thieves. So I want 100 Thieves and TSM to do well. I want to end it. This is game 6.
North Pool here, which is looking pretty decent.
It could end.
Fantastic for NIP. They've got Catalyst as well, and they had the ring console. Now,
so Cat didn't get men. It was Wraith for Cat.
From Zoo Station, which could be at the detriment to NIP. That's going to be their
I did say Wraith at first, and then I changed to Cat.
And I think NIP wanted to move north, and then they've been
so I'd say Cat this game, but holy Watsons.
With how they
1,
think
2,
where the zone is going to be going.
3,
this could really
4,
be
5,
like a
6, 7, 8, 9.
Of just
9
your idea of
Watsons.
where you move. I mean, my real question is, did they even get a chance to get the ring?
It'd probably be Bengal Fuse.
On the northeast side here.
Yeah, I mean, it's also about the polls too.
Bangalore, 1, 2, 3.
Teams in. You want to force them into the south.
4,
that means NIP
maybe.
can avoid almost all of the fighting up until the very end circle. And if it pulls well to them,
this EMEA, they used to tell us he was going to get banned next time, very early on.
And that's what you want as a match.
They told us he got banned, I heard, and I say, but they didn't say he was getting to get banned, I don't think, but maybe they did, I wasn't paying attention. I was watching a video, apparently Zero saying that he was going to team with someone new after EWC, and I'm just like, bruh, usually shit talking his teammates, and I'm just like,
a couple of shots as well.
Got one of the best anchors in the game in World Team. One of the best fraggers in the game, in how you are the current IGL, and everyone says you're the best IGL in the game. It's like the best roster you can get, and you're like shit talking saying you're not going to team them, and you just want to land. I thought they should split up before that LAN, but now that they've won a LAN, they should not split up. Like he said, even if they win EWC, they're going to split up, but I was like, that's crazy. But I can't say it. They were never going to split up until HAL 011 to prove that they can do it.
Hindsight's 2020, but can you see
now that they've won one, they're kind of like don't have much to prove anymore.
A lot of these fights for these buildings, these little things, end up having such tremendously big cascading effects later on as this lobby closes and we get to final rings. And TSM prioritizing, holding that building, ultimates going down, and they've secured it, at least for now, forcing Virtus Pro away. Falcons finding Kurev. Oh boy, and talk about cascading effects. LG taking that spot, still sitting fine up in that corner, but it's now NIP who have had to kind of be in the between areas that they maybe didn't want to go to, and they've already lost Kurev here, which is not a great start for them.
And it's going to be Team Falcons who are going to be heading their direction as well. And even though, you know, Falcons have been quiet,
it's going to start getting very more tight for these teams that are struggling.
You know, it's not the end of the world. One good game.
All gamers. Game 1, 27 points. Game 6, and they're on 28. How?
All gamers also the same. They're on 28. But remember what a start it was for all gamers. Sadly, they haven't really been able to follow up since, but they have found themselves on the northern side as well, so they'll be in a good position. And look at this spot. It's quite the hidey hole, quite the nook or cranny they found.
Falcons like rushing an RP.
You know, the only thing they got to worry about is maybe a knuckle cluster or knuckle cracker, as Onset said it should be renamed. I'm kind of going with that rename as well. I'm with it. That would find itself safely in that spot, forcing them out around. But so far, so good on that northern side. Kind of the benefit is you don't have a lot of traffic that way. Something you cannot say in the city of Los Angeles.
NIG need a big game here.
Sentinels. NIP kind of holding up this high ground here as well.
NIP just eliminated. Sadly, in the kill feed, they will be wiped out in 20th place, despite having the zone coming their way. They could not survive after Kurev was eliminated in the early stages. So, despite being our first match point team, we'll have to watch on now and hope that it is not won by Team Orchid, so they can get another go.
I mean, it's one of those zones that.
Oh, I'm so exhausted.
You know, you come back and you look at it, and this is one where
you
have to have more experience in hearing conversations about it. Obviously,
it was just NA.
They had a great zone. They wanted
and
to do something.
And I did go back to sleep when I woke up at 3 o'clock. I might even play games after my live stream, but no, I definitely will start live stream everyone. Even if I have like no viewers, I don't care. I want to live stream.
They'll be thinking a lot about that as being on match point and then being the
Shot
first team to
Slayer
die within the first round, having about 20 minutes to stare at the screen and watch everyone else play. That is not a fun experience. So NIP will be doing that. Virtus Pro have found a way to just stay active, even though they haven't yet gotten a lot of advantages in these fights. It's Slayer and Lou, working their way around.
Dan, put me in there. I know you meant this, Dan. I know you meant the Dan he's looking at.
Honestly, don't get too excited.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be that Dan right now. I'm going to be honest. He's dead. Instead, VP will get that KP, and they can start to work getting back in this game despite the struggles we saw earlier. And maybe Kimchi is going to be the next target for them, but they are still a 2. Can they get Zach Meza back in the game? Remember, there is a crafter just behind them, but it's not as simple sometimes as just grabbing the banner.
You know, these games have gone so long today. It's actually given us a lot of time to see these teams in action in different ways. And, you know, sometimes they can be over in a blitz, kind of before you even believe that you blinked. Very much like the open match point. It feels like Falcons kind of won that one a little bit before everyone could catch their breath in that lobby. Certainly not going to be happening again for Falcons. Not going to be happening for NIP. If Orchid go down, you know, we are starting now to push towards 7. And 7 becomes 8. 8 becomes 9. And teams like All Gamers, teams like even VP, you know, they're experienced enough to really have a moment. And you just got to say, you're trying to hold off and clean this up before any team like this starts to find their rhythm. And that's hopefully, as you look again at Team Liquid Alienware, another type of team that could have a significant run in a series like this. 34 points stand, 5th place, not on match point, but, you know, can't put it past them to come out with a 20, 30-point bomb and totally turn this lobby on its head.
The scary thing is, I mean, only 2 teams on match point, and depending on who wins this one, we might only have 3 going into the next as well, if Orchid don't win, of course. Whereas in EMEA, everyone kind of surpassed match point at a similar time. We had like 5 teams join at the same time around match 7.
I promise I'm not asleep. I'm still here.
And I wonder whether that's going to be the same here in America.
I'm just out of energy.
We'll stay in that pattern of just like one team mopping up the majority of points, and then everyone else kind of just getting 5 or 6, maybe 9 or 10 if you're lucky. And we've had just such heavy wins from teams so far that it's been a very different lobby.
Fury moved in nicely there.
To EMEA, but Fury will be making their way comfortably to the center of
Making my way
downtown.
downtown.
I think they'll be pretty happy. And you can see, with where the zone has pulled, it has pulled out east. So you can understand what NIP were trying to achieve when they did
Too
move
moving
early.
in.
They wanted to take
Where they're going to land. There's not many spots available. So it's going to be pretty hard for them.
Foreshadowed this zone pulling this way, but sadly, they were taken out of the lobby quite early on.
I had a feeling I'm going to land now.
It's going to be opening up to other teams, like Falcons have the position that they wanted.
It's not the greatest spot, but they're in zone.
Adroitly flying in between.
And I'm going down. ALGS. Stood mine.
Nearly grazing that body armor to find a spot nestled into the
Good
zone.
damage because there's one shot.
Meanwhile, Twisted Minds in the middle of a skirmish here. Alberlelli sliding
Alp does well there. There's one shot.
Goes down, but Kazir should get cleaned up here. Enemy, it's got to have the confidence and tempo to push. He goes the wrong way for a second. Does it open it up? No, it doesn't. Alberlelli finds Nano. That'll be a kill there. Kazir maybe still out there, but ultimately, that's going to be enough to just discourage Flat from taking that building. Kazir making it out with his life.
Kaiser.
NRG have just got a mythic bin spawning next to them, by the way. They're right on the northeast side of this zone. And this mythic bin is going to be a nice little gift.
This is mine as well.
LG are going to be just
They've been
west
quite
of
poor.
them. Falcons down
Placement wise, like all the points come from
Those
placement.
3 teams, depending on how this zone shifts, which I would imagine continues to pull that way. 3 favorites for me.
You know, I love that you bring up NRG. Not a team that we would anticipate being in this position. 15th place right now. They came into this lobby first place in the season, and they came into the open, in my opinion, as one of the favorites. They proved that they were, and now this is just a different shade to them.
I don't know what the fuck's going on.
What the anticipated bright, vibrant color that they bring to this game has typically been. And that is certainly a team you do not want to wake up. So much talent, so much skill.
Hopefully Team Tim.
On that squad.
That's putting on. They got the mythic bin. Ooh.
To take leadership in that. Obviously, Sykes joining that squad. Post open from Envy. Gilderson's being a part of that now. And Timmy's still staying in the leadership position. 19 points, but Dan, I love this spot. Like you said, I mean, very, very hard to siege from, and they got a lot of control so far with that mythic bin.
Yeah, and the zone has pulled their way, as I thought. So NRG, LG, Liquid, Falcons, they're all in some of the prime positions right now. All the teams that were in wall, like TSM, Orchid, CT, Villainous, Movie Star, like they've all got an awful rotation now. Somewhat
BP are in a tough spot. I don't know what they're going to do. How do they get out of that?
Just check in with
RSC should wipe them.
Oh,
SR. Is that Falcons? They're above? Yeah. Even SR so low down. Oh, Hal is dead.
But Hal's going to try and fight back. Not able to do so.
From Zainu, cleans up Hal. And it's going to be Shopify Rebellion's wins. Falcons out. 31 points.
Damn.
And they will
FC straight out.
The lobby as well. Our third team to fall, and will it be Shopify Rebellion right after them? Sentinels trying to get in on the action. Riley,
that's great damage from Zainu.
Opportunity, but Zainu is right back in there. The shields have been swapped. Koifel taking a little bit of damage from that Stinger Bolt. That's a huge asset wasted now in terms of any fighting capacity, and so Sentinels on the back foot.
BP moving around Zach Mason. Slayer's so dead.
Virtus Pro, speaking of hung out to try, just trying to stay alive and land. Zach seems like he's just
VP's dead.
Oh, living on borrowed time, and he goes down. 100 Thieves, Bo check Bo to VP Zach Mazer. He'll clean him up, and there's just one alive.
Yeah, I preferred the Pathfinder route than the through air control route. I'm going to be completely honest. There was far too many eyes on them in the Pathfinder. Sometimes you see the zip and you're like, they've got enough protection. Let's not waste our ammo. Yeah. TSM, they are 4 points off of match point threshold right now as VP do get eliminated.
TSM going to get
TSM do find themselves in the zone,
the
next zone, but there are going to be fights that are happening to be had.
Third party.
And all gamers surrounding
That's a
TSM
huge third party.
And maybe TSM will not be reaching match point unless
they're not going to. Wow.
Crazy, which he cannot. TSM eliminated, ROC eliminated, and we're down to 15 teams.
Wow, both of those teams go down. ROC, TSM. Talk about teams that have basically won match days. You look at Falcons as well. I mean, this is unbelievable, the amount of quality teams that have gone out without a point in this game 6. Now, they do know that NIP is
that was very
low
HP.
Feeling at least a little confident that they could have another chance. But Orchid's still well alive. And not necessarily in a spot that guarantees that they're going to get the job done. They got a lot of movement to go through, Dan, before they get there. However,
VP's about to drop out, bro.
No one can really rest until they know that that team is out.
LG's not making it.
Stands there on the right of the overall standings for those mid-season playoff spots. So those are the bubble teams to look at. If Orchid were to win it, it would all end here, and that would be how it would kind of end. But of course, points will change depending on who finishes where in this match. That's where we're going to be focusing on. As long as Orchid are alive, there is a chance it ends here at match 6. But there's a lot of work to do here, Rain Day. They are down in the southwest. They've got CTE around them, which are slightly weak. They have lost members, but Movistar are there as well as Fusion. Fury are watching over. I mean, it's going to be a gauntlet if Orchid are going to make it through here. This would be like an absolute mammoth of a run. It would be one for the ages.
But just like those, you know, Ninja Warrior gauntlets, man, you can't worry about the last obstacle while you're doing the first. You just got to do the first, then the second, then the third. Hopefully you run up that ramp and you touch that button.
I'm almost falling asleep, man.
Get caught up thinking about the future. And you know, 2 seconds ago they were on 2 blues and a purple. Now they're on 2 purples and a gold. I mean, Orchid winning that fight, getting
hopefully it's done in like 7 or 8. There's no one really hitting match points, so it's probably like 9, 10, I think.
Zone 4 close. Orchid, CTE, Movistar about to run into them as well. It looks like there's an evac tower for Movistar, so they're going to be ahead of the game. Team Orchid, this is
the shots, Luxford.
Right here. Can they
because the mine's dead. BTE dead.
He's got his Pathfinder zipline.
100 Thieves should hit it this game.
Make it 100. He's got a chance. This is it. If Orchid can get settled into the zone, well, we could be looking at match point. And it looks like they're staying alive. But Rambo loses the zipline. Luxford now isolated by himself. Hambino goes down already. Maybe they're just hedging their bets.
I forgot NRG's alive. LG dead. Sentinel's dead. I've seen Sykes get a knock on LG.
I'd say no man left behind, but it was
LG is struggling, bro.
Yes, it was a couple of men left behind.
How'd you miss that, Bernie?
Did he connect with that? He missed that, right?
Yeah, he did.
What's he shooting at?
Teaming gets one.
Is that
very strange? Very strange hitbox.
Yeah, it is. How did he miss those?
Yeah.
Phony just couldn't find the bullet. By the way, there was a
Guild gets another one. Teaming gets another one.
Team Orchid. I have to mention that. And remember, they do have, or did have a crypto as well. Anyway, over to all gamers.
Zap gets one. Guild gets another one.
Does have the Devo though. Will win the fight.
It's a great zip line by 100 Thieves. That's an excellent zip line. Excellent zip line to remove all gamers.
They're gonna have a chance to get to match point here. They need to clean one more kill.
And they get it.
And that will do it. 100 Thieves join Team Orchid on match point.
They'll probably end it soon. Thankfully.
About
Go Evan. Go Phony. Go Chen. I want to sleep. Go. Do well. Do well, my boys.
And Hambino could be the next to go. Sometimes, Dan, you get these moments where teams
Guild gets Zanu. Yuri gets Koi. Shopify dead.
They forget the fact that Orchid kind of secretly is still
here. Rambo didn't die either.
To be a full 3 in a zone.
They couldn't get the banner though.
And whilst, yes, they do
Hey,
have
some
beacon,
good
but
shots. He's got 1.7k damage.
A little bit more difficult. And we mentioned the gauntlet, right? Team Orchid have got through obstacle 1, 2, 3, 4, but right at the very end of it, you've got NRG, who have been sat on the highest point of this map. They have the mythic bin, they got a triple take, they've got the red armor.
Yeah, NRG should do well. They've got a few kills, but they've got to get good placement. They can't die. It shouldn't. Whoa, don't go too far.
Maybe you pull something miraculous off, because with 4 teams still alive,
speaking early,
there's still a chance NRG could be distracted by one team whilst another pushes up behind them. The real question is,
so that's what's happened to them all day.
Highly unlikely, but not impossible.
Need to focus 100 T.
I think the only way is 100 Thieves push
Orchid
NRG for some reason. I don't know why they do it, because there's an easy 2, and that's it. We're going to game 7. Buckle in. The ALGS continues. We asked North America to try to get close to EMEA. So far,
I'm 100 T. I'm stop. Or Fury and NRG are both.
100 Thieves.
You don't want either of them to win. So I don't know what they do here.
Jinburton, Phony, Verholst. Verholst with that bow check bow. He's already taken down Virtus Pro with it, looking to do the same.
Hopefully 100 Thieves fight.
Tall hill to climb, Dan.
Fury, which they are.
Sadly for NRG, they wouldn't get enough points to reach match point, even if they win this one. 100 Thieves.
Please tell me you're ulting.
All of these kills. I mean, they completely destroy the chances of anyone else getting onto match point. They say
NRG didn't third party that. Should have ulted earlier.
Guaranteed on match point. They've done their job. But this is going to be
NRG should have been pushed up on that mound by now. They played way too slow.
I like the composition. I like Phony with the Kraber.
Phony with the Kraber.
If he has a Stinger Bolt
100 Thieves win this.
On the side of Verholst, that could change the fight right there.
You're gonna get a shot and they're gonna
Especially
push.
If they get caught up. The problem is they're going uphill, but the thing is that benefits them is Jinburton's on the Watson. There's not that level of defensive resistance or stability on the side of NRG, which means a grenade. It could somehow cause something a little funky. If they siege well enough, this could be it. Energized zip line. And there's the EMP, but what is this going to do? They got to get a pick right back.
Nice, Sykes. Oh, Timmy died. Nice, Sykes.
Changes things here. Sykes and Gilderson's still alive. They've
gonna get the res.
onslaught, but that was close. They're going to be able to reset with Timmy, and it feels like that's the end of 100 Thieves' dream.
This is the definition of an uphill battle.
Yes, the boys. Nice, boys. Work, Sykes. Work, Guild. Work, Timmy.
There's a good effort, a valiant effort from 100 Thieves.
Up the boys.
Look at this and say, hey, we're the real winners. We got onto match point, but NRG at least get one step closer with a victory that seemed inevitable once they got that position, and the mythic bin also came their way.
Nice work, lads.
Sadly, Orchid, even though they gave that gauntlet a good run, they just couldn't get past that final hill and press that button that you were talking about, Reindeer.
Been running up that road, be running up that hill. Hey, Stranger Things coming out as well. Come on, man. You got to get ready in the zone. It was definitely not as fun as that song is to sing. It was a tough battle.
20 points as well.
Thieves, like you said, taking something away from it at least.
100 Thieves still at 17.
They are now on match point. Remember, looking at the open, you saw Falcons, 100 Thieves. You saw NRG, Shopify Rebellion. And to me, it was Twisted Minds in that conversation. For me, I think these teams
full game has finally got some points of 13.
Some of the favorite squads to take that lane. It ended up being Falcons, but right now, NRG, Shopify Rebellion, those are the teams that we've been surprised to see the lack of performance so far. If you look on the
NRG up to 7th
of things, that is where you've been finding NRG up until this last game.
Damn,
and where
Sparrow.
you still see Shopify Rebellion, Dan, with 23 points as well. And surprisingly, Falcons.
Banned.
So teams that we know come into lands in the world that are top 3 expected winners are not necessarily even in our top 7. NRG barely breaking that now. So yes, 100 Thieves make it. Still a lot of Apex to play, it feels like.
Well, if it had have ended there,
that puts energy back up to 2nd as well.
Like. But it does not end there. We go to match 7, and remember, there's 16 spots is what we're looking at. Of course, 6 of them already guaranteed, but then everyone else who is above 16 would be qualifying for the mid-season playoffs, Rain Day, and VP hold it right now.
I mean, it's going to be hard to change this. Let's bring in Vicky Kitty as well, who has obviously been watching from the sidelines and has a chance to tell us what she's been seeing in this one. NRG, they close it out, but it was close. 100 Thieves make a nice push there, and it's nice to see both those teams having a little spark of life here right when they need it.
And still, though, 3 teams only at match point, further highlighting the distance that Americas always go when it comes to their Pro League days, especially when they show up for regional finals. This is insane.
Well, you know, we talked about the difference between the heights of where NRG were fighting, where 100 Thieves are fighting. Some may say that's a disparity. Some may say it's a tough hill to climb. Some may say levels. And the guy who is going to say levels, well, he's joining us right here as well. We the people on broadcast back again with the ALGS. It's great to see you, man, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Happy Father's Day to you, to Ashton, to all the dads out there. Yeah, man, it feels good to be back a little bit, you know?
I appreciate you, bro. You know, you gotta love the commitment to the tree behind, and obviously your stream's been incredible. I know many viewers watching and supporting on this, and also going to hang out with you after the show as well. So big shout outs to We the People on stream. Let's take a look at those final circles, bud, and walk us through what you've been watching throughout these last couple of games, but also just this last game in particular, how 100 Thieves managed that and how NRG was able to close it out.
Yeah, 100 Thieves, I mean, Kraber on Phony, you can't ask for anything more. I will say this, you know, this reminds me of 1944, Beaches of Normandy here, storming up. It's near impossible push, you know. I think most likely you're always going to lose that game. And NRG just clear cut, great beam there by Jen Burton. But, like I said, near impossible to win that. Absolutely. And all they had to do was really wait and collect the KP.
Kind of well done in my eyes to Jim Burton to even get that trade with Timmy. It felt like NRG got into the best spot, but were a little bit hesitant. They've also been a team like Shopify Rebellion and even Falcons who haven't had the best of days so far. We're playing 6 games already, 30 points around. So for those teams, that's a disappointing day. What do you think is going on? Any of those teams in particular that you have some insight on why or what you think is going on in this lobby in terms of their performance?
Yeah, I mean, I've been watching the actual broadcast, so I haven't been listening to team comms, but, you know, fighting is always the number one. Shopify do not look like themselves.
No,
I've
they
seen a
don't.
couple clips from scrims from Koi and Zainu, and, you know, they're screaming. They're going crazy. Same thing with Falcons. You know, they're not looking like themselves. They're a fan favorite. If you had to bet the house, you're betting on the Falcons. But we got more Apex. That's the beauty of Matchpoint. You know, that's the beauty of the Legend bans. And so I'm excited. Hopefully we see more games than Mia.
Yeah, I mean, that would be crazy, but it's kind of setting up to where that's still possible. If you have a team like Shopify Rebellion only on 20-something points, you are saying, hey, they can win 2-3 in a row. They've already done it at certain points in their history. So, Beebs, we've also got the special privilege of having you on to give us a very, very spicy, hot take, my man. You have opted in. I don't know who got you to agree to this, but I'm waiting for the sauce. I need the spice. It is time. What that means for those watching at home, you are going to be listening to Peeps. How about 45 seconds or so to give us his take that he thinks needs to be going down in Apex Legends? It's a little spicy. And Peeps, time for you to go. Clock starts now.
It is a little spicy. A lot of people are going to hate me, and people have been asking the devs to nerf the Devo. Now, here's my thing. Don't nerf the Devo. Not yet. Give me one more split with it. It is an insanely fun gun to use, all right? I don't think anything in Apex brings me more joy right now than getting 3 purple attachments on my Devo and just one clipping. You know, you got 52 rounds in the mag, super fast fire rate, and, you know, you add a little ballistic ult with that, and it's chef's kiss. I love it. I love it. Don't do it. Don't do it, devs. Give me one more split.
My goodness. Vicky, you agree with this?
Absolutely not. Only because, let me tell you, you know what it feels like to literally funnel in one direction and to just get mowed down without somebody having to reload because maybe they have like a ballistic with Tempest activated, and I'm just like, dude, I lost all my hair. Like, my hair just all falls off, and I have to just deal with the Devo on the other hand. That is crazy. I know Gaskin, he's got some thoughts.
I mean, I just think this is a selfish controller player POV from you, Peeps, where I've seen clips you're putting on social media of you farming with the Devo. I mean, you can do it with an R99. You don't need the Devo, bro. Come on. Let's nerf it. Get rid of it. At least just a little bit. Just make it a little bit more even. That's all I want.
Buff the Rampage.
Hey, I'm down for that. Actually, you know what?
No,
I agree with Peeps. Rather than nerfing the Devo, let's just buff some other guns to make them of similar power. How about that?
Oh, I like that.
R301?
I actually like that.
Please.
That's a big
Spitfire season, guys. What's going on? I mean, let's go. Everyone's not talking about my Spitfire. I love that gun. Okay, let's start talking a little bit about what the chat has to say here, because we obviously have this segment where we bring you into the broadcast, those watching at home, watching on your phones, in the comfort of your homes on Father's Day, on the couches, chilling out, hopefully. And we want to hear what you have to say. So let's bring you into the action. Mike Sully, 374826, says the Senti remains the most entertaining gun in the game. I know the Devotion was just mentioned, Peeps, but you feeling that one? Especially if you're talking snipers?
I mean, definitely the funnest sniper. I think the devs did an amazing job on like the reload animation, and to make it feel like a super fun gun. Reminds me of MW2 with the intervention, but definitely not the most entertaining gun in the game, in my opinion.
Wow, just a hard no. Badgers. Yeah, he likes the Devo. We get it now. He's biased. Badger Tees RIF. Watching Skittles just no scope in every fight is a thing of beauty. I mean, you know, this is obviously something that we've seen for a long time. Skittles is a great player. Loving the fact that he gets those no scopes going. I mean, you know, Vicky, we don't get to see you play except when, you know, in the green room 1v1s, you and me showing up. You know, we don't want to show that footage right there, but is this no scope impressive nowadays, or is that something we see too often in FPS?
Hold on. Maybe we should show it because I don't know. It's kind of fresh. You know what I mean? But you know, sometimes it's just for
You'll
certain
see some no
eyes.
Shots.
Hold on. On a controller, you know how difficult that is? You always got to get them hits in. And I still think no scoping is still pretty fresh. I mean, especially depending on which iron sights you're talking about, and also depending on which skins you're using.
Now, I gotta say, it is a nice thing to see. All right, let's keep it moving here. Oi, oh yeah, BB. As long as NRG keep playing crypto, they never gonna win a game. Oh, damn.
This one aged well, didn't it, bud? Oh, that's rough. This was definitely decided before match 6. That's for sure. How about you in your own words?
You know, production picked that out too. Just after match 6, throw it in, you know, because they knew this was the setup here. Do we have any more? I think we might have one more. All right, let's see what it is here. Oh, NIP. Brody says, I thought this new NIP team would struggle. They look like the most veteran team here. Peeps, I'm back to you. NIP is looking pretty strong right now. In fact, when you look at this team, Vayne and McLovin and Kurev, this is not the team probably anyone would have bet being on top of this split. But so far, it looks like they're the most likely team to do it.
Yeah, I mean, you got Vayne, who is a mechanical monster on the keyboard. He's also an ALGS champion from 2021. Amazing IGL, absolutely underrated. You got Kurev, McLovin, 2 underrated guys, grinders, absolute shooters. It's a recipe for perfection. And I'm definitely bullish on NIP stock. Definitely.
Nice. I love it, man. Well, it's always good to see your face. Always good to hang out with you, man. Hope to talk soon. And congrats on everything. And thanks for joining us.
All right. Love you guys. Bye.
Big love. We the people, man. And we're going to take a break too here. It's time for Vicky and Gaskin to hang out and have a little bit of cast as well. I'm going to go off, but guys, enjoy it. Let's get going. It's game 7.
All right. Thank you so much, Rain Day. Gaskin, will it be time? Will it be time? History sometimes repeats itself. And what do I mean by that? Last time you and I have been able to cast a regional finals in the past, I believe it was even for the Americas, I think we were able to take it home. And I have to ask you, looking at the overall standings right now, specifically throughout the course of the series, Falcons in 11th. They died in like 19th place in the last game. I was looking around with TeamViewer and seeing how yeeting a nade up to the skies, it landing at his feet, and he took 100 damage. So, you know what? I don't know how the vibes are looking like over there. I'm questioning how sometimes the comeback potential is insane. When we take a look at the map we'll be moving on to, coming right back over to Storm Point.
I mean, the terrifying thing is, Vicky, there is still a world where Falcons can win this whole damn thing. Let's be completely honest. I think they know that, we know that, and the teams that are currently on match point, it's their job to stop that happening by winning it right here, right now, in match 7. But Storm Point is where we're going back to. It's going to be back-to-back as we reset those map series layout, and Falcons are going to be still at Lightning Rod from the POI draft. So, you know, amazing POI, fantastic position to be in. Of course, they did have good rotation to zone in the previous game, but sadly couldn't get the job done. Will they get another similar zone that perhaps they can have a second bite at the cherry here? But you can also look at, you know, NIP had their opportunity at the wall. They didn't take advantage of it. I mean, NIP have now had 2 zones go their way and have yet to find that elusive victory to try and take them to be the EMEA champions here in the regional finals, which leads me to believe that perhaps it's going
different
to be
winner every
else.
game.
Sparrow is banned, taken out of the equation.
It was almost the same in EMEA too.
I'm so glad that Peeps highlighted Vayne, by the way. Vayne being the IGL for NIP has really highlighted
Did
how
any more
NIP
teams get match
have
point?
made the
100 Thieves, I
adjustments that
think.
they needed going into this regional finals. And like you highlighted too, Sparrow being off the table, finally a recon legend we can say goodbye to, at least within
Probably
that lineup.
Cap.
Probably the
It's
only
banned.
recon legend, I'm not gonna lie, unless Crypto is the next to join Sparrow on the ban list. But this was the different look that we had looking at across different regions, right? EMEA didn't have a single recon legend banned out there, looking more so at the assault class, where we had said goodbye to Bangalore at one point, Fuse being one of the most picked legends. But it is only match number 7. This could go the distance with only 3 teams sitting at match
I hope it
1.
doesn't, but it probably will, to be honest. It's looking like it's going to go the distance.
And with the amount of incredible teams in this
I'm not
region
getting
that
any
still aren't
sleep.
on match point, it is very likely we go to match 8,
No
maybe
sleep.
match 9. Who knows at this point? That's what is always the joy of match point. And I can't wait for it to happen as well. And Storm Point is upon us once more. And I think you made a good point. Who is going to get banned this game? Who picks up? You said just the one recon legend. Surely we won't see another. Well, Vicky, I hate to tell you this. 16 cryptos in the lobby. Recon is very much approved by the Americas.
It makes sense here. You're talking about 2 recon legends that don't have to overextend to get actual information on where everybody else is, I mean, we take that. That's why we see so many different crypto drones flying around these America's lobby. As we take a look at our winners from our last game, number 6, NRG. They held Godspot for so long, and they're one of the teams rocking the crypto.
Yeah, some said they would never get a win with crypto, but alas, here they are. I mean, it was the perfect game for them. If you watch back from their POV, the position they took, and then everything that fell into place with the zone and with the mythic bin, it was just comfortable from that point. But they had to get that position to begin with, so we have to give them credit where it is due. And now they are 12 points off of match point. The question is, can they do it again? Can they get to match point with another victory, or maybe just with a solid game here to find 12 on the board?
That's a very good point. They're coming out of their POI over by Trident. They're already going to be able to take control over Spider Caves and the Evil Harvester. But this zone pool, a little bit of an opposite end here compared to our last game, pulling over towards the cliffside of Wall. We are going on top of Launchpad Flat, maybe even towards that gravity cannon.
So
that's north side of
sleepy. I'm
Twisted
just
Minds.
like sitting here in my head, and my head is
Nowhere
like.
near NIP. They're going to have to go on quite the
But
merry
I am
journey.
back.
As for Orchid, it's not going to be the best of rotations for them either. And
What
then
about
for
laying in
100
my
Thieves,
bed
I mean,
for
it's
continuing?
equally
I
as
reckon I'll fall
difficult. So there
asleep.
is all our match point teams. They can have to move pretty far.
Rest of last
Orchid
year we
being
just
the
did.
closest, but the real question for me is, do Orchid get caught up in the rotation behind Furia? It looks like
What
they've been
teams
able
are
to move
close?
fast enough that they're
All
not going to
gamers
get
are
pinched.
close.
My worry
Furia
was
is
CTE
close.
and Furia
Pretty
being
good.
either side of them. When they moved, they might have just got caught in the crossfire, but looks like they're gonna be
TSM's
okay, and
4 off.
maybe Orchid have the best opportunity out of the 3 match point teams.
Hopefully we have 8.
Yeah, because not only are they in the edge of that next zone, they'll be able to have the ring
I've
console
on
that's
it
right
after
there
this game.
already, the survey beacon and evil harvester to their south,
Where's
which is
Falcons?
uncontested by
They're
no
11 to
team in the
31 off.
vicinity of Coastal Camp or Echo HQ, because a lot of these teams have
31
already
off. They're on
quickly
31 points.
rotated
Panic
over by
dead.
Launchpad and
Fucking
LG. We were wondering, where has LG been?
LG
on the
need to
bottom end
seriously,
of the
like,
leaderboard
there's
over the
an-
course of
LG
today's
not gonna make
series.
it. They're
They
so
do
far
find
behind.
that knock and that finishing blow onto Panic, though, and TSM,
Albert the kill.
they were so close to hitting that match point for so long out here, too. Now just trying to see if they could get some of those points on board, if they could bring
You know how them
Panic
say
back,
crypto
but they have
is
been
gonna get
stuck.
banned.
Now at 46 points behind Team Orchid, 100 Thieves, and NIP.
LG's
Jake's already
almost
getting
sound a little
respawn.
bit like a Sean Paul song. And you'll get it if you think about it. But I do think that the 3 players, they should be doing better, right? They are a squad that definitely have the potential to be up there, but sadly just can't really find
They've
the
been
success that
shocking.
maybe we were expecting of them so far in the regional finals. But again, with only 3 teams on match point, there is time to catch up. You just need that one big game and suddenly you're right back in the mix of things.
How tight it's looked like here in the Americas. Despite the early lead that we saw from NIP, sitting at 68, right behind it with 100 Thieves. 2 teams that are running 2 different comps, by the way. I think it's nice to highlight that NIP are running the conduit. Maybe the only conduit that we have in the lobby. And that's a little scary when you're a match point team, because if one squad could figure that out after studying the VODs or after scrimming against you, they'll be able to know and isolate that you are the only team running that conduit. And they could even greet you here as Liquid Alienware.
That is
to
a
set up the
great
zipline into the
ultra
EMP to
push here.
follow up.
To kill a solo? No, where's his
no.
team?
Can't go anywhere. Can't go anywhere, Cheeky. Sorry about that. Yanya saw you in their sights. That is Villainous losing out on another one.
The Trident's going to be
Solo's
very
gonna
important in this
run.
game. With where this zone's going, I think the Tridents could really help you, especially on the southeast edge, if you can get all the way around and just skirt around the edges of the coast, and then you can cut in behind and catch people off guard. That's if you can drive your Trident, of course. I wouldn't advise just trying to skirt over walls too often. But at least Villainous are able to get away, and now you just need to find a crafter here.
In this current direction, and if Movie Star Koi, who are currently on their own Trident by Barometer, hear this Trident from Villainous. Yosi gets off, gets a quick little heal off with the shield cell before getting right back on that Trident to try to wrap around completely, but Movie Star will be able to call him out while we take a look at our match point team. Team Orchid, who got ahead of this rotate, have found themselves in a nice spot on the low ground here of Launchpad, because even sometimes we've seen this pool in a very similar end game. I believe it was match day 9 for EMEA. Alliance were holding a very similar spot on this low ground that Team Orchid is now situated in, and more teams are now flying in. It's going to be Team Liquid Alienware that are currently in Devastated Coast.
Yeah, everyone's moving pretty quickly now. They
Taylor fell in last spot there.
The rest of the lobby were trying to take the position away from them. So everyone was like, just quickly like, hop in the Trident, guys. We can't allow this team to get ahead of us.
Solo.
Looks like those who were late to the party now are going to have to...
Oh, Villainous got the other boys up.
One of those being
Back to a trio now.
Falcons, LG, NIP, VP, All Gamers, Fusion, and Movie Star, and Villainous, who we saw going back to Res. Those are the only teams who are outside of the zone at the moment. The other 12 have all found themselves a spot to call home right now.
Man, Villainous really went all the way over to the Cenote Cave. I mean, it was a good call. We want to play more defensively here. If you're Villainous at the moment, you do get everyone back up, and when you are the second team on the bottom end of that leaderboard, sitting in 19th place with only 17 points, you have to start making magic happen if you haven't been able to find your stride already after, what, 7 games now at this point here. So looking at the overhead map and the teams that will be rotating, though, from that north side, LG, NIP, taking their time, they'll be able to have that Evil Harvester over by Cliffside, and Falcons, who could hold this position to try to gatekeep either NIP or LG. But Falcons probably also have that ring console, and they'll have to deal with NRG to get inside that next zone.
And excuse me if I missed this the previous game, but NIP on Conduit. It was something that Martin mentioned during EMEA, that would we see Conduit? I think that there is a big consideration that Conduit could be very impressive in this meta. Even in ranked, I've been able to play. Glitter was playing Conduit, and it has been so helpful in fights and engagements, and maybe it could be one of the differences that NIP need to try and get over the finish line here.
Conduit is insane, especially in this legend ban system that we currently have in place. The only thing I'm worried about is if other teams understand NIP's game plan after scrimming against them, they could isolate NIP if they know they're the team with the conduits. And so the only ones running the conduit. Same thing, I mean, Movie Star Koi aren't at match point, but them being the only ones with the lifeline, it would kind of be a similar situation to that. Or even bigger brain would be that they never took out the conduit and no one will know that it's NIP.
Yeah, it's always tough to try and play around that as well. Thinking that people would target you, for example. You try and hope that you get into a position where it wouldn't matter, even if they did try and target you. One thing that Conduit's ultimate could do is zone other teams out and maybe force them into each other anyway, as now NIP will continue to make their move with that Conduit that we were talking about. And I love this composition. I think Pathfinder, Fuse, and Conduit is a scary composition to try and fight up against. But my worry would be similarly to what we saw in match 5 when NIP got into the position, but then they didn't really have any pieces to set up. There was no defensive tools. With Conduit, you do have the ultimate. That's the only thing that can maybe do something, but of course you can be shot through that ultimate. It's not like a wall. It is just like a bubble that can kind of stop people and it will damage them, but they can definitely still shoot you through.
What if I went to sleep
That's the scary part too, when you have so many
and then
cryptos
restarted
in
this live stream
where it ends up being the counter pick
later
versus
on?
These Watsons that do want to set up. That's why seeing more Watson, 10 picks specifically on Watson, versus the Catalyst having 4, also showcases the teams that may not have the to go into these final zones, that may not rotate just as
Honestly, I
quick here.
shouldn't. I should just watch it through.
Koiful landing these shots with a 30-30 already across the lot.
I watch this game, and if it's like barely any teams on match point, then I'll pause it, end the live stream, sleep, wake up, start another live stream,
Shopify Rebellion throughout the
watch
season were one of the S-tier teams.
last couple games.
To be honest, so a very surprisingly quiet
the live
day
stream
for
after
them.
that.
Sometimes the lobby just doesn't really go your way. But again, still time to change things as long as you can stop one of these match point teams from finding success. And the best way to do that is by finding a victory. Virtus Pro will get back up to a full 3 as well.
I feel like
I'm just too tired,
up and
man.
down success needs to be studied because
Way too
obviously
tired.
this team started off so strong at the very start of the Americas within Pro League, and looking at them struggle right now, while Lou is going to be able to take some shots to at least clear this building. They're going to be able to secure it, and with this composition, Zach being on that Valkyrie specifically is going to give him that info with Lou being able to bunker down on this Watson. But it'd be a shame here. Slayers may be on that crypto. Could EMP another
This
team
wouldn't be the
across
same
them,
though,
but
would it?
equally could be done to them too.
If not being
Shopify
live.
trying to hold down to the slight low
Same.
ground.
They've given up the height though.
Shopify's
And you
gonna
can see
die
Moonstar
again here.
absolutely sending it with the Devo.
I hate when people
And
die
Shopify
still
Rebellion
holding
now
their
in a 2
ult.
versus
It's like,
3.
just use
Koiful
it,
does
bro.
respond, but can he get out? The answer's no, and it leaves empty. In now a 1 versus 2, and probably having to retreat here.
Oh, he's backing away. He pops the EMP just so that way he has even more time to get away before they start looking at him. Running for his actual life while now Furia heard some footsteps showcased with that zip line. Wanted to peek and see if maybe they had an opportunity to get some KP.
Sentinels, they are very much in the thick of it here. Hal gets a grenade in the right place this time, and it will take down Carter, as now Falcons begin to move up.
I don't know, we'll see.
Try and pressure and try and take this position here on the eastern side. Sentinels are scarpering away, though. They do not want to take this fight, and they're trying to escape.
At least with a really good grenade here from Hal, redeeming himself. Not this time, not hitting his feet, but hitting the enemy from Sentinels. But are still alive, hanging on that slight lip of the cliffside. You can see the ping still with Blue Evos. Don't think they know where he is just yet. Maybe trying to look for him while January gets knocked with some help from the ring.
Man is so stuffed in zone right now. January. There's no way he gets out of this.
Just January.
There's no chance.
And it's going to be a tough old road in. I mean, you're going to watch your teammates most likely die. They're giving him as much information as
Just
possible
res by guy there.
before he moves in. But this zone, with it shifting further south, which was the expectation, that does mean that those who were a little bit further north are going to have to move in, like TSM, LG, they all
going on here.
over to
RC.
ROC looking to do some damage. Deeds will be shredding from a distance, and ROC should be able to push up on this one if they want to, unless they're worried about a third party.
Guys, so
the fact that you got that Arc Star knock means that you have the man advantage. Jay is literally one shot. They're one of the teams with the catalyst. Nice bunkering down at the right time, but they have not been able to reset fully in terms of health as Deeds goes in. Saucer with the follow-up on the Devo. They find Jay. They finish off Chase. And with 19 squads left, who's trying to run away. Shopify get the res here in the header. And Rock just chasing down that one last member.
Surprised RC decided to use the Dark Veil there. There was a lot of utility used for just a single fight, but it is an isolated fight.
Few people dying, but no teams dying. There we go. Villanois dead.
Taking this engagement. Villainous have gone down on the other side, and Fury are in a pretty good position. They should be able to win this one, but maybe, just maybe. No, you can't get
almost
away
crushed
with it.
that.
The knockdown shield did a job, but not quite
Fury
enough.
died anyway.
But Fury, they go down anyway. Twisted Minds just pick up the pieces.
That slow approach to try to maybe go in for a Hail Mary Evo shield swap while you're still slowed down with the Arc Star. Sad to see here.
TT dead. I don't know how Wig does the fucking
up on high ground. And
he's a goat.
one of our match point teams have now made their way into the northern side of the zone where the majority of these teams have congregated. But bad news for them, Gaskin. Guess what? We are moving exactly by that gravity cannon on the south side, north of Devastated Coast, away from where everyone has predicted this launch pad ending.
NRG
NRG go down. There's no back-to-back games for them, and they will not find match point here. 100 Thieves, however, are already on match point and are still alive. They're on the western side, so they still have a bit of a journey.
Evan gonna 100 Thieves gonna end it right now, which would just save everything, which I completely forgot about.
For that transition.
Nice knock from Evan.
They've also got a lot of range available to them.
Go 100 Thieves.
30-30s between them as well, so they're a
real
Evan. Problem to those teams that are trying to cross at the moment. Team Orchid are currently quickly moving from north to south as well to try and take one of these buildings alongside Virtus Pro.
They're a bad spot though.
Maybe Team Orchid with a good opportunity here in this game as well.
It's scary to hold that position early on unless they have a trend to maybe cover their front here, because Virtus Pro could still have them in their line of sight on the roof side of that building north of Devastated Coast that we saw them holding on to the high ground for. Team Orchid with that quick rotate. 100 Thieves currently looking to see if they could try to find an opening on this rotate, but Phony needs ammo first. Look at this. He's got the Nemesis, only 28 bullets now to work with. 100 Thieves have been here from the very beginning, or more so holding onto this position from a very early part, denying themselves the opportunity from getting even more loot.
Well, only 30 seconds to try and decide where you're going to go now. Here's an overview of Orchid making their rotation. Look at the amount of space that they've taken as well.
Jesus Christ.
Those Watson fences just saying to everyone, keep up.
What are they called? NIP.
As NIP, it looks like
they're in
it's
a bad
be
spot
up
too, though.
Into the skies.
Moving.
This is going to be a
Someone usually dies when they're taking back tower, but they've got good cover. Yeah, Vane's dead.
Does Vane stay alive? That's the real question. Almost gets taken out of the sky, but there's the conduit.
Oh no, that's 100 Thieves going the way
to keep Vane alive here.
And then you get to see all the action happen right below you. See 100 Thieves zipping on by. Vane,
oh, that would have been so unfortunate if he slid out and got shot then.
Slowly taking up where he just has to focus on popping this med kit just for now. 100 Thieves look behind him. Do they focus here on the team that just flew in here with Vane scouting ahead? 100 Thieves up this hill, though, is still a very risky situation to be in, just looking at their composition. They're one of the teams without a cat wall, too, on top of it.
100 Thieves just trying to pressure these teams that are crossing the water now. But they also need to think about how they're going to force their way into zone at the same time. Like, what is their plan of action? Looks like Phony's gone up, so he's the one who's scouting right now as the Pathfinder. Just needs to let him know if it's safe as Flat get eliminated. TSM also getting pressured at the moment. Remember, TSM were so close to match point, but TSM eliminated. They will not reach match point.
Fusion
All
dead.
gamers go down. Fusion go down as well. So many squads being wiped off from Storm Point right now.
They're like 2 points away. Team Liquid
LG
is
dead.
the next team, very close to
LG
being
actually needed
at
to win
match
that,
point with
but-
only 40 points. Team Liquid can now wipe out the other team to their north. They want to make sure that they have less resistance, and 100 Thieves are actually helping them out because Rock are right next to them, and they get sandwiched.
Well, all three of our match point teams are still alive at the moment, but Orchid have just lost one. Twisted Minds might be helping them out here. Those Burhols have just fallen. Now Orchid going to go for that res. Jen Burton says, I want to deny this one. Let's try and take Orchid out right now. And Phony flies in, but gets absolutely obliterated as Orchid just trying to hold on.
Phony, what was that?
Twisted Minds also looking to get involved.
Idiot.
100 Thieves get eliminated. They come out on top. They look to get the rest, but they have to put in the pressure. Lux with no time to actually reset with the shield battle until
100
now.
Thieves just
Rambo
threw
gets
that
eliminated.
hard and
They
fucked
finish him
Orchid
off
at the
while
same
he's
time.
knocked
That was
down,
so
and the Crypto
stupid
trying to
from
get
Phony.
information at Team Orchid.
Oh my god, Luxford in the alternator is going to work,
Dumbest
but
thing
it
I've
will
ever
not be
seen.
enough. It's Orchid eliminated. And that means
That's
it is
why 100
just
Thieves haven't
NIP
won
now,
anything.
who
That was
are on
fucking
match point,
stupid
and
from
they are
Phony.
also
What the
kind
fuck?
of in a tough position. You can see
NIP's
they're
lost
trying to res, they're
no.
trying to get back up, and they've lost
It's gonna
McLovin,
go another
but
game.
They do have a Moby. But that zone is gonna close very shortly.
Getting
This
the res,
is gonna
nice.
be tight. That zone is gonna be burning their backsides. And 5 squads left. It's still doable here for NIP, but it's Team
not.
Falcons who are on the eastern side here, dominating this zone and looking to try and find their first
It's
big
not.
game of this
NIP's dead.
series.
VP's right on
I was
top
gonna
shooting
say,
them. Creds
right
now,
now, Falcons are in prime position to win this game. A little quiet from
Gotta hit
Falcons here.
medkit
They
here,
heard it
brother.
from Peep. Trying to put on a performance while NIP off that res, get the reset here, look to see how they're going to be able to approach that next zone because they have to go in from that low ground. They see the team right next to them. They get that knock onto Jaguares and Team Liquid.
What are you doing,
43
Vayne?
points, looking to get KP, looking to maybe take us to some more Apex. Kira being the
Fuck.
last one alive. Good luck with that. With the circle pins against your back, NIP get eliminated. And we see some more Apex as we go on to game number 8.
Death taxes, more games in match point, and a Falcons victory potentially on the horizon. That is just how things go in the ALGS. Falcons have everything in front of them. Twisted Minds, VP, and Liquid Alienware are all bunched up together, and Falcons had dominated this zone. They control all of the space. The real question is, can they get to match point? They're on 39 points right now. With KP, this is still doable. I don't think they got that one though, and that might just take it away from them. They're on 41 points, get 45. They need all these kills, I believe. So still doable. Not impossible for Falcons, but certainly going to be tough, especially with how close VP and Team Liquid are.
You literally need to just go ape VP without getting third party by T-Law. Yeah, that's not going to happen. They're going to be holding this position. I feel like Falcons, they've won from this position before, especially when they clear that east side of the map, approaching this side of Devastated Coast. They found a lot of success, but another team who's done something similar is VP. That's why they're holding this lot right now. Which of these teams are going to engage first with Team Liquid still stuck on that low ground? The moment the zone starts closing in, Falcons are going to look at Team Liquid, who are going to be funneled in their line of sight. VP are going to then try to pressure out Falcons, or which of these teams want to try to get this KP right below their feet, because it's only 2 members left of Liquid.
Yeah, that's 2 less, that's 1 less kill for Falcons as well, remember that. So can they get enough just to get to match point? The math not necessarily on their side here. The position of both teams, maybe not either.
Oh, Hal goes down.
And that might just open things up for VP. They start to move here. They try and take
Good
position.
ult.
Great cover though from Zero. Not allowing VP to step up on them, but this bow check is deadly.
You know they're hungry, but they can't, because if they give up that space, they're gonna get shot in the back by Team Liquid. They have to let the res happen from Falcons. Now VP looking to the right, they hear the footsteps from Team Liquid right below them, but now they're eventually gonna have to move forward here. Falcons looking at both VP and Liquid.
Oh, Yanya!
What? Dropping down from the high, Lou just drops down. Grease, Liquid, VP are playing for second. They know they couldn't win. They just wanted to get the KP. They allow Falcons to move up and be your Game 7 winners.
Team Falcons
FLCN
find their
get
victory,
enough though.
Find their form, but they do not find match
Get
point.
enough, dude.
They will have to win.
T-Law didn't
not
get
just
enough
another
either.
game, but then one after that if they were to be the champions here of the Americas regional finals. But one thing that does guarantee us, Vicky, is more ALGS action. I love match point.
I love it too, and I wonder if VP realized that that was Falcons just predicting their pathing for a zone like that, because if it was, Lou dropping down probably already communicated with the rest of VP to play for second, because if Falcons got 2 more KP, looking at Liquid to see if maybe they could have taken that 2 KP or even more 2 KP from VP and they gave that to Liquid, Falcons would currently be at match point right now. They are at 48 points, even with this dub, getting 5 KP here with that first place.
I mean, that would be extremely big brain, but I don't put it out of the realms of possibility. These players are very smart at tracking everything, but that's going to be frustrating one for Falcons that you do get that win, but sadly are not on match point, so they're going to have to dig deep. But we saw that.
I think
when Falcons have to
I'm going to
the
end my live stream. I'm going to sleep, and I'll come back when I wake up, start the live stream, finish it. So I'll do it in 2. I'll do a part 1 and a part 2. I pretty much had to do a part 1 and part 2 for
3 teams that are very much able to
EMEA anyway.
Keep this thing rolling into match 9.
And looking at the series results, we still only have 3 teams at match point. But
I do part 1 and part 2 for
competition is
EMEA.
getting scarier with just a few point difference away. We have literally 3 teams that are in a 48-point tie. TSM, Falcons, Liquid Alien, where I highlighted TSM.
They're close.
Earlier
It could
because
end in like 2 more games, which I'm alright with.
Even when we were still looking at E-District earlier,
Yeah, I'm going to end it,
and
I'm going to do 2 parts. So I'll go to sleep, and then I'll live stream
NIP still lead the pack
the second part, about which could be like 1 game, 2 game, 3 games. I don't care. I'm too tired.
So close down there in 14, 15, 16.
Thanks for watching. I'll be back when I wake up.